to the dollar, 22.67 to the pound, 19.94 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $63.18 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 North. This is between Boysons Road and the Crown Interchange. An accident has been reported actually on the Mark 1 North right near Carr Street. Do expect delays there while travelling on the N3 North. Another accident seen just before the Baklu Interchange. Delays from Marlborough Drive.
And in your sport, the Proteas continue to pile on the runs in Guwahati. A short while ago, they're 43 without loss, a lead of 331 over India on day 4. A 10-man Everton beat Man United 1-0. The Toffees' red card was Guy sent off for slapping his teammate. And the Bucks missing 12 key players for Saturday's game with Wales.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers today. Johannesburg starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 20. Pretoria 14 and 21. Vereeniging 14 as well, and a high of 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The search for 2 people swept away by floods in KwaZulu-Natal is expected to continue this morning for the second day.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. 702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
Coming up to 6 minutes past 6 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bongles this morning. Good to be in your company. Well, lots coming up on your show. But first, welcome to Johannesburg, Swane, Soweto, London, Beijing, wherever you are listening to us from. It's good to be in your company this morning. The entire breakfast team, of course, is here. Amo's got your traffic. Mateo's got your business. Siamtanda, Bapalila, and Dropiwa producing your show. Cindy is back this morning. She's back and she'll tell you about the Proteas doing well at the moment. KG, of course, always pushing your buttons. Safiso's got your news. And me, Ray White, lots to talk about this morning. Our shout out, and this is something we do every morning just to kind of get you out of bed and get you thinking. I want to know from you, how did you meet your partner? Was it a colleague who you couldn't stand, someone who stole your heart, a chance encounter at a party or a wedding, a blind date set up by fate, or even a random meeting? Were they even your type? I'd like to hear from you this morning. How did you meet your partner? Let's get into it.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
So, Mateo Kharipe, it's been a minute.
Hello, Ray.
Hello. How did you meet your partner? Your wife?
Geez, long story, and she also tells it better than I do. But I had to break one of the rules that I stand by, and that's not to date at work. And the one time I broke it, I actually found a wife. So we were working together, but didn't like each other very much because apparently she said hi to me once. I probably had headphones on, and I didn't say hi back. So
nice.
She hated my guts. I also arrived late for the day we were set to travel. And she was the production manager for that production, and I missed the call time. We didn't talk for the first 6 hours of that production.
Sure.
Until she needed a charger, and then she kind of figured out I wasn't as bad as she thought.
You're a nice young man.
Yeah, and that's how it started.
Okay, there we go. And have you missed your call time since? Or you?
No, I'm never late for anything. But she always is.
Just had to ask. She always is. Okay, you got to go home just now. Just by the way, I just want to point that out. Amo, how did you meet your husband?
In a true movie style, Ray, we were in the same school and we bumped into each other. My books fell. We both went down to reach out for my books.
Oh, no, really? Did you bump heads?
And we did. I promise. In a
KG doesn't believe you.
In a true movie style. And then afterwards, he introduced himself and he offered a handshake, which I thought was something that a lot of young people don't do anymore. I was taken aback by that. I was like, So some people really still do this. This is cool. I like this. And then we exchanged numbers and the rest is history.
Lovely. But you can't really hug. I mean, I'm quite uncomfortable lately. When people they launch into you and they hug you.
No. He
yes.
took out a hand to, introduce himself formally as you would do in an interview or meeting a new person or, Which
I think is quite
admirable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there are lots of, I don't know.
So, Ray, you don't like being embraced? People don't launch into you; they embrace
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes people just launch into you. Like, who actually are you?
you. Wow.
Okay, you can all have a hug later on. No problem. So 072 702 1702. How did you meet your other? Were they even your type? That's the other thing as well. All right, that's the unserious part of the program. The serious part's talking about, wait for it, the weather later on. And I'm not sure if you've noticed. I mean, last night you get certain service providers who send out those notices to say, move your car under cover now. A hailstorm is coming. And we've had a few hailstorms. Asking the question, what's going on with our weather? Are we expecting more hailstorms, damage to property? Things are changing. Climate change is here. I don't care what anybody says, Donald Trump. Climate change is here. Things are different. We don't get that 5 o'clock thunderstorm anymore. So finding out about that a little bit later on. Why is the weather unpredictable and what can we expect? Then also later on, talking about the 16 days of no violence against women and children. Yes, there is criticism that not much changes. And I must admit, when I found out we were doing this interview last night, Mateo and Amo, I kind of thought to myself, I thought, come on, here we go again. It's November. We're starting this campaign. Well, I'm wrong, because this time around, there's a different angle to it. It's talking to movie buffs, people making movies, talking to the media. They're changing things. It's all about storytelling this time around. And perhaps if we bring some sort of attention to it, we'll get to the point where something is done about it. So I'll be speaking to the minister a little bit later on, Sindisiwe Chikunga, about this and what they're doing to stop it. So lots to talk about on breakfast this morning, but I'd like to hear from you. How did you meet your other? And were they even your type? 072 702 1702.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
Right, Mateo, what are you asking this morning?
Ray, I want to know from you and other 702 landers this morning, of all the things that you consume, whether it's electronics, a phone that you use, things that you eat, whatever product that it is that you consume daily, which one would you buy shares in, just based on the consumption level?
I know exactly why you're asking this, and it's a great idea. You know, this is the thing. I think for me, smartwatches are the way to go. I really think they are. I think it's that kind of new technology. I heard a story recently, and I hope I'm not stealing your thunder here, but I heard a story recently about a guy who got into an accident, all right? And his watch told the ambulance that called the ambulance he was in an accident. So all of a sudden, the ambulance pitched up. The watch called and notified his son that dad had been in an accident. By the time the son got to the scene, the dad was already at hospital, had been taken away in the ambulance. And I just thought to myself, that is absolutely amazing.
You know, Ray, you're speaking to somebody who doesn't like smartwatches. This team will tell you, I don't like smartwatches at all. But I think you just made a proper case for it. I don't want that watch to tell me to go to sleep. I think that's far more important.
Sure.
Amu?
I definitely would have to be. I think actually a smartwatch is very nice. I would buy shares in it.
Yes, you've been trying to get me to buy one.
I've been trying to get you into it because, you know, he gyms so much, he exercises, but he doesn't have a record, a collect of his work that he puts into gym every day. Because now, when you are, exercise, you can actually earn points for living a healthy life or, you know, trying to be more healthy. And so that's what I'd actually buy shares into those things, like your lifestyle, gym clothes, healthy eating, I would do that.
But do you want to be monitored? This is the thing. I mean, I was driving this morning and I've got this thing in my car. And my phone said to me, you've lost so many points because you went a little bit over the speed limit. Yes, I know, I was late. Those kind of things. And I just thought, shut up. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
But when you get the gains, you don't say shut up. When you gain from it, when you gain from the points,
Exactly.
So but you have to look at the positive.
I was given a lecture this morning by my cell phone, actually.
I'll tell you why I'm asking.
There we go. 072 702 1702.
702.
Weather.
Well, let's take a look at that weather. And the reason why we're talking about it this morning, you'll see in the Western Cape, they are expecting a heat wave today, but we in Gauteng aren't. So your weather for today, a cloudy day in store for Gauteng with some showers later on. Johannesburg starting at 11 degrees, going up to 20. Pretoria 14 and 21. Vereniging 14 and 20. Cape Town, like I said, they've got that heat wave going up to 37 degrees today. That's the mother city. Eberge 12 and 24. East London 14 and 23. And then Durban 16, a high of 24 degrees.
EWN Traffic.
14 minutes past 6 o'clock. This Eyewitness News traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save in your car insurance if you don't ask them for 500 Rand. How are the roads looking?
Well, Ray, we've got an accident on the M1 North that happened right near Car Street. It is causing delays coming out of the Crown interchange. Please be on the lookout there and approach with care while traveling. In the Kelvin area, a car stuck on the road. It's right on the N3 North near the Baklu interchange. Delays from Marlborough Drive. And also do remember that along this route, we also have got roadworks that are taking place there. So more delays this morning due to those two scenes along the route. And traffic lights are out of order in Rand Park Bridge at the N1 and Bayers Nadia Drive. More updates coming up. If you do see anything else, though, we are an X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the lady on her way to work, listening to a love song on the radio. She's recreating the music video in her mind with herself as the leading lady. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a concert on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
If you want a versatile SUV that's smart, efficient, and seriously advanced, meet the all-new BYD Sea Lion 5 plug-in hybrid. It's the affordable SUV that gives you electric power for your everyday trips, fuel-powered backup for your longer drives, and premium tech everywhere you look. The BYD Sea Lion 5 is packed with cutting-edge technology, from advanced driver assist safety features to the groundbreaking DMI technology. The BYD Sea Lion 5 makes every drive smarter. Visit www.byd.com and pre-book your test drive today. BYD, build your dreams.
Nothing beats the summer holidays, lazy pool days, ocean waves, festivals, food and family fun. That special time is almost here, and with Fly Safairs affordable, flexible fares, you can zoom off to SA's hottest spots. Sunshine guaranteed, worries not included. For big holiday savings, use our low fare finder to hunt down the best flight prices in just seconds. Don't be a bummer. Fly into summer. Book now at flysafair.co.za. Fly Safair, for the love of flying.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Finance and Economic Development MEC Lebogang Maile will present Gauteng's 2025 medium-term budget policy statement to the legislature on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025 at 10 a.m. MEC Maile will use the mini-budget to outline the province's economic priorities, fiscal direction, and plans to drive inclusive growth and sustainable development over the medium term. Join the conversation about public finances on Facebook and X using hashtag Gauteng MTBPS 2025. This message is brought to you by the Gauteng Provincial Government.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's
Morning,
walk
702
the
and
talk.
team. So my wife and I, we've been married for 7 years now, and we've been together for about 12. So we actually met in grade 10. She's a couple of years older than me, and she was actually my science tutor. So we met in grade 10. Going into grade 11, I needed extra science lessons. At that point, she was becoming a doctor, and then in grade 12, I still needed extra science lessons. And I always joke with my mom that she got a 2-for-1 deal. So she paid for my education, and she also got a daughter-in-law because of it.
How cool is that? That really is very, very cool. You know what? The heart wants what the heart wants. And sometimes you're in close proximity. I was saying earlier on, Mateo, I met my wife. She came and she wanted to read news. And she had no experience whatsoever. So I said, not a chance. I'm not going to train you. I'm tired of training people who have got no experience. And I got all grumpy about it. And fortunately for me, my boss intervened and said, you will train her. I see something there. She then became one of the best news anchors I've ever seen, and I married her. And I apologize every day for what I did. So there we go. So stories about how you met your partner and were they your type? 072-702-1702.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Things you need to know about today. Now, fresh off the historic weekend, the Gauteng provincial government is gearing up for a media briefing after successfully hosting the G20 Leaders Summit. The province will unveil a detailed report showcasing how it delivered Africa's first ever G20 summit, from its standout achievements and also the key lessons to the economic and social ripple effects already emerging. And the Gauteng Premier and the others will be there today, his entourage. My question is, and I was at the G20, and you drive in, you go to the FNB stadium, and then they shuttled us off to the actual venue itself at Nasrec, and the lawns were beautiful, and there was no rubbish, and it was just a beautiful place to be. Is it going to be a beautiful place in a month's time or 2 months' time? That's what we're all asking ourselves. So I'd love to hear today what their plan is going forward to keep it that way. A controversial aristocrat is back in the quest for love, but Scots can forget applying. The British millionaire Sir Benjamin Slady, 79, has revealed a strikingly specific list of demands for his future bride. She must be at least 20 years his junior, stand no shorter than 5'6", and absolutely cannot be Scottish or a Guardian reader. In fact, adding to his eccentric rules, Scorpios, drug users, and anyone with a taste for alcohol are strictly barred as he embarks on his highly selective search for a perfect match. And we've been talking about that this morning. What is your perfect match? And how did you meet your significant other? What is your story? But I think Sir Benjamin is going one step too far. Then, of course, also happening as well, former RAF CEO Colin Sletswalo is expected to face Scopa's inquiry into alleged financial maladministration at the agency. After repeatedly evading attempts to serve him with a parliamentary summons, Parliament then took the rather unusual step of publicly broadcasting the summons across its social media channels. Well, today's session has been set aside specifically to hear his response to the damning allegations against him. Then two key suspects in the high-profile murder of rapper AKA and his friend Tibbs are back in the spotlight. They're back in court. The brothers Siyabonga and Malusi Ndemande, recently extradited from Eswatini, are set to return to the dock as the case gains momentum. Their first appearance in the Durban Magistrates Court earlier this month was brief, with proceedings postponed for further consultations. And here's something. Mateo and Amo, do you watch those foreign films with subtitles? Because there's some real gems there. Mateo?
Yeah, I do. I can't think of one at the top of my head. I think I've watched even the South Korean ones because my wife loves those things.
There he is.
It's your fault, right? She loves those Korean movies. Also watch those, although I think I need to concentrate a little bit more when the subtitles on the screen.
Yeah, I love them. Amo?
Me too, specifically Squid Games. There's people who watch them with the titles, but sometimes I get tired of following the subtitles and then I want to watch in English.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do, but I admire the talent from different productions.
You know, in the bad old days of apartheid, we used to have Radio 2000, and what you would do, you would watch something on television, but it was dubbed into Afrikaans, and then you would turn up your radio and you would listen to the actual English version of it. So you turn down your TV, turn up your radio, and that's what happened back in those days.
So the radio and the TV would be playing the same news bulletin? Oh.
Not news bulletin. It was like a production. We had Miami Vice. That was one. And you would watch it, but it had been dubbed into Afrikaans. So we wanted the English. So we turned up the radio. That was Radio 2000. And we heard the English coming through on the radio. So I get what you're saying. The reason why I'm asking this is because Bollywood legend Dharmendra has passed away in Mumbai at the age of 89, leaving a void in the world of Indian cinema. The Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, hailed his death as the end of an era. Known for calling himself a simple man, Dharmendra inspired extraordinary devotion from tens of millions of fans. So asking you this morning, do you watch movies with subtitles? What are you watching? We'd like to hear from you. Well, let's take a listen to Dharmendra and why he inspired. Do you watch Bollywood? Well, Bollywood legend Dharmendra has passed away in Mumbai.
702.
The newspapers.
So, Fiso Zulu,
Good morning, Ray.
It's been a minute. How you doing?
Been a while. Thank you. How are you?
Good. The business day, SARS opens dialogue with top taxpayers. And they've been talking to them about that. What else do you have?
Looking at the Citizen this morning is running a story from Malaysia, and they're saying that Malaysia is planning on blocking children who are under the age of 16 from signing up to social media accounts next year. And this is aimed at tightening access over child safety concerns. And the communications minister was at pains at saying that government is looking at how Australia and other countries are dealing with imposing online age restrictions, because Australia has for the past 2 or 3 years been spearheading control of who can access social media when it comes to teenagers and young people. And so Malaysia in recent years has tightened its oversight of social media services in an attempt to combat rising cybercrime. And it includes requiring platforms and messaging services with more than 8 million users in the country to obtain a license under new regulations that took effect earlier in January.
Sure, interesting story. The Star newspaper this morning, Duduzile Zuma files affidavit against Russian mercenary recruiter. This is a shocking story about these people trapped in and sort of the front line, I suppose, between Russia and Ukraine. And they went across there. They wanted to go into security. They were looking for a job, and now they're on the front line. So that story is making news headlines. What else do you have?
Yeah, exactly. On the back of that, the Sowetan is also running a similar story, but it's taking the personal account of those men who were recruited to Ukraine to fight in the Ukrainian war. And the Sowetan is running a story about a voice note from one of those men which was sent to his mother, and it says, "We're getting by even though it's painful, but we hope that it will start to disappear, or hope is starting to disappear." And this is part of that voice note that an MK Party military training recruit sent to his 69-year-old mother, Pumla Zuma, on WhatsApp after finding himself being deployed in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And the man can be heard struggling to hold back his tears, saying there was no movement and that he was trying to be strong and their conditions have not changed. And Zuma said that 2 of her sons, who are 34 years old and 28, as well as her grandchild, were recruited allegedly by a person called Spogazik Ngoma, who is close to the MK Party leader Jacob Zuma's family. So that's a personal account of those young men on page 4 of the Sowetan.
And those are the
newspapers.
EWN Business.
Right, 27 minutes past 6 o'clock. Mateo, of all the things you consume, whether it's electronics you use or things you eat, which one would you buy shares in? The brand that makes your phone, the one that makes your gym clothes or your favorite shoes, coffee, chocolate, beer, an energy drink? Why are you asking this?
Well, Ray, Unilever's ice cream business Magnum is gearing up for its multi-billion-dollar spin-off next month. Magnum will go at it on its own, focusing on just ice cream, and also will list as an independent business. The company is positioning itself as an ice cream-focused business and betting on the allure of indulgent snack consumers are still craving that sweetness that it comes with, including its Magnum ice creams, as well as brands like Solero, Vignetta, and Ben & Jerry's. For every 5 Unilever shares held, shareholders will receive 1 share in the Magnum Ice Cream Company, which will be listed on the London Stock Exchange, the Euronext Amsterdam Exchange, as well as New York Stock Exchange. The Magnum Ice Cream Company will be incorporated in the Netherlands, and it's not a really, really bad business. For the first half of 2025, the brand's parent company, Unilever, reported a 5.8% organic sales rise for Magnum, with revenues at 4.5 billion euros or 89 billion rand. Unilever is also a shareholder in the company, holding a stake of under 20% that it plans to reduce over the next 5 years. The brand is currently the world's largest ice cream company, operating in 76 countries. Magnum ice cream sells approximately 1 billion units globally every year. So if you're
1 billion.
Yeah, if you're a big consumer of that ice cream, it might be a good time to get in on the shares this time around. So you're not just consuming the brand. Ready to tackle some of its toughest challenges, things like weight loss drugs that have become quite popular, people living healthier lifestyles. So it won't be entirely easy for them, but they're saying they're willing to make even smaller Magnums if you are worried about your weight.
I'll have a small little Magnum.
Yes.
Okay, all right. The rand in the markets.
Well, markets were doing quite well on Monday. A bit of a rebound after the losses we saw on Friday. The all share up 374 points. Industrials slightly weaker. Banking stocks were also in the red, but it was the mining shares that were up more than 2% yesterday. The platinum producer Valterra up 5%. Sibanye Stillwater up 4%. Harmony was up 3.3%, with Anglo Gold up 2.7%. Not the best of days for Telkom. They were down 5.8%. Sasol followed suit, down 3.5%. MTN Group down 2.7%, with Prosus down close to 2%. Rand this morning, 17 Rand 31 against the US dollar, starting off on the back foot against the US currency at 19 Rand 92 against the euro, and at 22 Rand 68 cents against the British pound. Price of gold, $4,145 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,552. Brent crude at $63.04 a barrel. More business after 7.
Thank you, Mateo. Just gone 6:31. Sofiso Zulu, I see this Andrew Chauke investigation or inquiry is still making news headlines.
That's right, Ray. Good morning. NPA head Shamila Batoyi has told an inquiry in Johannesburg's prosecution's boss, Andrew Chauke, that his role in the prosecution of Johan Boysen was more than just mere coordination. Batoyi has been testifying at the inquiry into Chauke's fitness to hold office as the main complainant. She's accused Chauke of going beyond his mandate and acting outside his jurisdiction when prosecuting Boysen and his Cato Manor organised crime unit in KZN. But the panel presiding over the inquiry have asked Batoyi whether Chauke, who led the prosecution's team in the matter, made any real decisions or if his task was merely coordination.
There is indication that Advocate Chauke is involved in activities that go beyond mere coordination. For example, the 8th of August at 8 a.m., indictment preparation. Likewise, that's not simply a coordination function.
The trial of Durban gun dealer Anderson Padayachi resumes in the Western Cape High Court today. Padayachi is standing trial for allegedly selling high-caliber rifles and firearms to gang members in Cape Town between 2018 and 2019. He was arrested by the Hawks in 2021 and his trial began in November last year. Padayachi faces a total of 66 charges under the Prevention of Organised Crimes and the Fire Controls Act. Camray Clark reports.
Court hearings resume in the Western Cape High Court today as the accused Anderson Padayachi returns to the dock facing 66 charges for contravening the Firearms Control and Prevention of Organised Crimes Acts. Firearms registered to Padayachi's gun dealership in Durban were allegedly implicated in murders committed by the notorious Terrible Justice gang. The state argues that the firearms are linked to 8 premeditated murders and claims that Padayachi pocketed 700,000 from the sale. The The state argues that the firearms are linked to 8 premeditated murders and claims that Parayachi pocketed 700,000 rand from the sale. It also added that the accused should have foreseen the likelihood of the firearms being used in criminal activity, yet proceeded to supply the gang with the firearms. Parayachi has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Cam Ray Clark, Eyewitness News.
Western Cape High Court Judge Robert Henney has urged the prosecution team to finish their cross-examination of alleged underworld gang boss Nafees Modak. Modak has been in the witness stand for 3 months to account for the 122 charges he faces, along with 14 co-accused. Prosecutors are now questioning Modak about his alleged involvement in the attempted murder of prominent criminal defense attorney William Booth. Carlo Peterson reports.
State Prosecutor Greg Vormerans yesterday took Nafees Modak back to the testimony of self-confessed gunman Mr. A, who told the court he worked for Modak as a hitman. Mr. A told the court co-accused Ziad Pool recruited him from the terrible Westsiders gang to perform murders on behalf of Modak. Pool allegedly gave Mr. A Booth as a target in 2019, but the gunman's attempts to murder the attorney were halted when he was arrested for possession of an illegal firearm in December that year. Modak denied paying former attorney Gary Newmark to provide legal services to Mr. A after his arrest. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Venezuela has rejected the U.S. terrorist designation of an alleged drug cartel on its territory as a ridiculous lie aimed at paving the way for an illegitimate military intervention. A major U.S. military buildup near Venezuela has led to speculation that President Donald Trump is planning to try to topple Venezuela's socialist leader Nicolas Maduro. Washington accuses Maduro of heading an alleged Venezuelan drug cartel, which the U.S. designated a foreign terrorist organization yesterday. Venezuela's foreign ministry has rejected what it calls the new and ridiculous lie from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, which it says aims to justify an illegitimate and illegal intervention against Venezuela. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected today. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 14 degrees, peaking at highs between 20 and 21.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the Mike-1 North. This is between Boyson's Road and Carr Street due to an earlier accident. It's been cleared, but traffic remains heavily backed up, also due to peak time delays along the route. And then if you're traveling on the M2 West, bumper-to-bumper traffic as well between Heidelberg Road and the Crown Interchange. Heading towards Woodmead, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu Interchange.
The top story this hour, NPA head Shamila Batoy has told an inquiry into Joburg prosecution's boss Andrew Chauke that his role in the prosecution of Johan Boyson was more than mere coordination.
Elevate your flying experience with Lift Premium. Enjoy even more space, comfort and convenience with priority boarding, extra baggage allowance and complimentary lounge access. Visit lift.co.za today.
Don't miss out on playing Powerball and Powerball Plus for 57 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Tuesday. That's right, play Powerball for an estimated 51 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 6 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda push to play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS LEGAL to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi, morning team. So how I met hubby was I was on lunch. I was working weekends while I was doing my studies, and he literally said they went out with his cousin to scout for girls. So I just happened to be on my lunch at McDonald's, advertising now, but yeah, buying ice cream, and then he was at the queue. I had long dreads, and he said, "Let's swap hair." And I'm like, "Ugh, okay, whatever." He was bald, so I thought it was cute. And then he's like, "Can I join you for lunch?" We sat literally for my whole hour, and been together 20 years now. So yeah, the rest is history, as they say.
Good morning. My name is Letabo. I met my boyfriend at the SRCQ. We were both financially excluded, and I was telling him that, you know what, if Friday things don't work out, I'm going back home too. And he was like, no ways. And he sent me to the SASCO offices. I didn't even know about those political student wings. And he was like, yeah, today I'm going to change your life. And yeah, and then we spoke ever since. And yeah, now we've been dating for like 10 years.
Yo, Letabo. You see, that's the thing. It's a chance encounter. And we're talking about that this morning. It's our shout out this morning. How did you meet your partner? And were they even your type? And I love this. The first voice note there, going out to scout for girls. That's what us young guys used to do. We were 18 and clueless. So we'd go out and scout for girls. And I can see by the look on your face, you're totally unimpressed.
No, I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
Did your husband not go out and scout for girls?
No, maybe in his young years. Of course, that's not a conversation we'd have.
Oh, wow. Cindy, how did you meet your husband? I've always wondered, actually, because, I mean, how did you?
Oh, we met through mutual friends at a braai.
Oh, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
You went to a braai and
No,
there you
literally,
go.
and it was before before social media, before all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's how you used to do it. Now things
Yes,
have
old school. Have conversations with people. Get to know them before you've already decided who they are by viewing their Instagram page. You know, because I think a lot of the romance these days has been taken out by social media. Because my friends started dating guys when there was Facebook and stuff, and I remember them saying like, "Oh, I found this guy in the club last night." Da, 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 da. Then you could look at him up. This is before Facebook
Sure.
allowed you to lock your profile, etc., etc. And you could see so many pictures of them, so you could already know that he had a dog and he liked hiking and stuff that you need to learn about each other as you're going, because otherwise, what else do you talk about if you already know each other? But you also got to act like you don't know, because you don't want him to know that you've been stalking him before.
Well, that's the thing. You know, you want to go out for dinner and then say, tell me about your life. I believe you have a dog.
So pros
and your mother.
Yeah,
And,
but also pros and cons for women as well, because you get to see if somebody looks weird or dangerous. Do you know what I mean? By viewing their social media, you can already see if someone's off. So that's maybe the pro as well of it. But I think there's a lot of excitement in relationships when you're meeting and it's discovering each other. Yeah.
I mean, I remember dating like many, many, many years ago. And, you meet somebody and then you phone her the next day.
Yeah.
And will she pick up the phone? Will she, will she like you?
Yeah.
It's all that excitement. It takes courage. And now you just look at someone's social media profile. It's quite disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah.
EWN Sport.
Something that's not disappointing is the cricket. That's been phenomenal.
Right. On the go, live day here, 4 of the second test. The Proteas, they resumed on 26 without loss. They are now 71 for 1, a lead of 359 over India. Rickleton was caught for 35 earlier. In the middle is Markram on 28. With him is Stubbs on 4. Yesterday, India 201 all out. Marco Jansen taking 6 wickets there. A 10-man Everton beat Manchester United 1-0. Idrissa Ganagai's red card in the 13th minute, the talking point. He was sent off for slapping his own teammate, Michael Keane. Despite that, Everton still scored in the 29th through Dewsbury Hall, and got the win. Everton boss David Moyes on that red card.
When I saw it, I didn't think there was anything in it. I was a bit annoyed that they were challenging each other. But I was quite pleased they were fighting each other, because it showed me that they cared, and it showed me that there's a bit of that, and that's what's in Everton. We're trying to demand higher standards from everybody. So I can't quite work it out if it was Keno's bad ball or if it was Ghana's bad ball to Keno, whatever they were annoyed with each other with. If we hadn't got that fight and that resilience like what they showed, we'd have never get through the rest of the game.
Hugo Bross named his 54-player preliminary squad for AFCON starting December. Tembas One is in the side despite being injured. Not on the list, Grant Kekana and Motobi Mvala. There was a call-up for Bekezeli Mbokazi, Tylen Smith, Relebohile Mofokeng and Lyle Foster. Bafana's first match against Angola on the 22nd of December. Springbok clash with Wales this week falls outside the international window. A chance for coach Rassie Rasmus to test his depth as 12 players are unavailable. From the front, Malcolm Marks, Thomas Tutoy, Boan Venter, Argus Neyman and Peter Steph Tutoy. And from the back, Grant Williams, Pollard, Leba, Creel, Colby and Van der Merwe. They've all returned to their clubs. Scrum coach Don Him on whether or not he thinks it changes his game plan.
For us, it's not a new thing because week in, week out, we play basically with a different team almost every time. We make a lot of changes. So for us, I think we're used to it. And obviously, it's always a loss if you lose quality players who's not available. I can imagine for them it might be the same, especially for the players that they might lose playing in the Premiership. I'm not sure if all the URC players will be available.
Is there anyone left? I mean, that's half the squad.
I think there was 30-something of them that travelled in preparation for this. Remember, you still Mbongi Monambi is there. We still haven't even tapped into our World Cup winners, our previous World Cup winners.
I mean, shame for Wales. I mean,
No. They're without 13 of their first choice players. They're going to be fielding the most inexperienced squad ever in recent years as well, and they're already on a bad run of form. So it's
they just beat Japan, but like just
So of their 30 names selected, 20 players have single-digit caps, including 4 uncapped forwards. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hello, Uncle Ray. My name is Mina. I'm 13 years old. I'm excited to play the Whiz Quiz. I go to Eden Glen Primary School, and when I grow up, I want to be a chemical engineer.
I mean, I'm looking forward to playing the Whiz Quiz with you. Eden Glen Primary School. Now, that's a good school.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
It's 6:45. This EWN Traffic brought to you by South African Airways. SAA now operates 2 flights a day to Gaborone, this with morning and afternoon departures. Book now at flysaa.com. Right, Amo, N3 North delays once again.
Yes, Ray, this is due to the roadworks that are taking place along this route. Do expect heavy traffic volumes coming out of Vincent Chabalala Road. There's also queuing traffic on the Mark 1 North between Boysons Road and Carr Street. That's due to an earlier accident as well as peak time delays there. There's also queuing traffic heading towards the fourways along Witkoppen Road. An accident reported there right near Douglas Drive. It's causing heavy traffic volumes. If you can, try to avoid the scene. You can still use Malibongwe Drive through Sharon Lee to try and navigate your way through the scene. And then on the M1 South, we've got some delays between the Baklu Interchange and Marlborough Drive, also due to peak time delays there. More updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Experience Johannesburg to Gaborone with South African Airways, where comfort meets convenience. Enjoy premium service, flexible morning and afternoon departures, and the warm hospitality SAA is known for. For a limited time, return fares start from just 2,762 Rand, all-inclusive. Book by 4 December at flysaa.com. South African Airways, bringing you closer. T's and C's apply.
Access to the internet is vital for any country to grow. That's why the recent 6.75 billion Rand digital infrastructure deal that Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking facilitated between Telkom and an Actis-led consortium is so transformational for South Africa. It unlocks growth and provides internet access to underserved communities who will now have access to the internet for the very first time. Search CIB Stories of Impact to watch the full story.
Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring Total Energies. Their corporate affairs and CSI manager Talita Sashane will be in conversation with Bongani Bingwa. Join us every Wednesday as we highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and make a difference together.
Who says everyday driving can't be très chic? Rent premium with Sani 6 now. Own the stylish Citroen C3 later. Yes, that's 3 cars, 3 months, 3 chances to say ooh la. Just book directly on sani.co.za. Call us or rent at any branch between 1 November and 31 January, and you're automatically entered into the draw. Bon voyage with Sani 6 and win. T's and C's apply.
Coming up in your program in the next hour, it's What's the Question, brought to you by Outsurance. Up for grabs, 3,000 rands in cash. All you need to do is send us an answer on anything that has piqued your interest in the show, and you could win first 1,000 rand. Simply WhatsApp your name and that answer to 072 702 1702. And of course, a little bit later on, someone else will ask the question to win 2,000 rands in cash. Remember, you stand a better chance being selected to give us today's answer if you have SMS out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Good morning, Ray White. How I met my partner. It was basically in varsity, met in varsity, where we were first years. We were in a beauty contest as part of those initiation activities that new students had to do in hostel, and we arranged from shortest to tallest. The boys were arranged shortest to tallest, the girls were arranged shortest to tallest. I was number 4 in my line, she was number 4 in her line, and we were matched, and we had to be partners in the whole beauty contest. And yeah, since then we've been married for 10 years now, and yeah, that was back in 2007. So yeah, that's Lemmy from Rustenburg.
Lemmy from Rustenburg, I think that's fate. That's all it is. It's just fate. I think when you're supposed to be with someone or meant to be with someone, you are. Even if it's a beauty competition or whatever happens, that is pure fate.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
It is the Whiz Quiz indeed at 10 to 7. Good morning, Mina. How are you this morning?
I'm okay, and you?
I'm good. Now, apparently, you want to be what? A chemical engineer?
Yes.
Fantastic. Why chemical engineer?
I love science, and I want to become a chemical engineer because my uncle's also a chemical engineer.
Ah, fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to you making news headlines and getting Nobel Prizes. I'm sure you're going to, Mina. It's all written in the stars. Okay, are you ready for the Whiz Quiz?
Yes, I'm ready.
Lovely. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. You have got 60 seconds. For every one you get right, you get 100 rand. If you get 10 out of 10, well then you get 10,000 rand, Mina. You get to come to 702, and we'll just spoil you rotten. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Excellent. All right. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Excellent. KG, start the clock. In maths, what is 7 times 3?
Pardon?
What is 7 times 3?
21.
Correct. Which human organ is treated with a defibrillator?
Pass.
Okay, it's the heart. True or false? Ice hockey is a sport where you use sticks to hit a puck into a net. True or false?
True.
Correct. Which province lies further west? Is it the Western Cape or the Northern Cape?
Western Cape.
It's the Northern Cape. True or false? South Africa has only hosted the Soccer World Cup once.
True.
That is correct. Which animal has a hump on its back?
Camel.
Correct. Which cartoon characters are small blue people who live in a forest?
Pass.
Okay, it's the Smurfs. True or false? Ozone is a form of oxygen?
True.
Correct. The abbreviation FYI means for your... Okay, I can't finish that. The abbreviation FYI means for your what? It's information. All right, guys, we have got 5. You got 5. That's 500 rands. Mina, what you going to spend 500 rand on?
I'm going to spoil my friends for their birthday.
Nah, you're a good friend. You really, really, really are a good friend. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. Mina getting 500 rands in cash.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
Something we want to chat about is the weather. Talk about the weather. There's that saying. Well, another warning for a hailstorm in Gauteng last night. And I'm not sure if you're like me. I get those WhatsApps that come to say, go and park your car under some sort of cover because a hailstorm is coming. And it just got us thinking. Today, it looks like we're going to have more storms. So finding out what we can expect this summer. Will we see disastrous hailstorms, climate change? I think climate change is here. I'm not sure what you think. The reason why I say that, we used to get that 5 o'clock thunderstorm in Gauteng. You can even set your watch to it sometimes. It would roll over and you would get that rain. Now we have rain all the time. In fact, today, the Western Cape, they got a heat wave. They're going to be 37 degrees, which is quite something. So we no longer have the 5 p.m. thunderstorm. Our weather is all over the place. Are we being hit by extreme weather? Where do we stand with this? What do we need to do now going forward? Do we need to mandatory just park our car under some sort of cover during the day? And, a lot of people go to work and they park outside. They've got no choice. Well, in fact, like I say, this heat wave hitting the Western Cape, and we have something totally different today. Well, on the line is somebody who works for the SA Weather Service. You'll hear him on Africa Malani's show every morning. Slehlogonolo Tobela. Hi, good morning. Good to have you on Breakfast. Welcome.
Good morning, Ray, and thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I'm good. How's the weather doing? Because things seem to be a little bit extreme all over the road. What's going on?
Yeah, definitely. We've been having a lot of rain, especially for the central and the eastern parts of the country. And this is definitely confirming the seasonal forecast as it's expecting above normal rains. And with that, we're expecting weak La Nina. And that's why we have a lot of moisture and cloudy conditions over the central and the eastern parts. I'm glad you also mentioned the western areas where we're having a lot of heat and a lot of dry conditions, which then increases the chances of veld fires. So in season, we received the summer rainfall, which is the central and the eastern part of the country. That includes the Free State, Northwest, Gauteng, into KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape, as well as into Limpopo. But for the western interior, then that's when you start having less of the rain because you receive most of your rain in winter. Now, what you're having now is that we're having an increased chance of rainfall, but which will be above average what we usually get in summer due to weak La Nina. And if you are in the central part into the eastern areas of the country, you are here to then attest to it because ever since it started 2 weeks ago with tropical low pressure system over the northern part, it brought a lot of moisture. And what rain needs is a lot of moisture and a lot of cloud for it to start pouring.
Yeah.
And that's why we're having a lot of these now.
For those who don't know, or those who didn't take geography in high school, What is La Nina? What exactly is that?
Now, La Nina is when you're expecting above normal rains. It's measured through a Pacific Ocean temperatures. It's a measurement that we use in ENSO to make sure that you are aware whether to expect a wet or a dry summer. Okay. In simple terms, La Nina is definitely a wet summer, especially for the eastern part of the country. Yeah. El Nino is the opposite of that. That's the dry conditions that are expected with high temperatures.
Now, hailstorms. Are we expecting more hailstorms? Because we've had hail so far, but those are those little stones. But every once in a while, Mr. Golf Ball pitches up and we've got a major problem. What are we looking at?
You know what? I'm glad you spoke about hail right now because in the past weekend, I was in fact looking at the forecast and actually monitoring everything about thunderstorms, and we have a lot of convergence. So what hail needs is a proper updraft within a storm, which means then the water particles tend to ice. In fact, it's water vapor that tends to ice instead of liquid, and then what it falls down as it's other ice that you're seeing. The golf ball size that you're talking about is what I experienced this past weekend, and that started as hail before there was rain. So I saw just hail, about 5 minutes of that in Pretoria, more than 5 minutes of hail before it started to rain. So it just shows you that the extreme temperatures in the eastern parts as well as high temperatures globally are actually I'd say just contributing in the factors of us having extreme weather conditions in the eastern parts. Is it climate variability? Definitely, because then you'd have different seasons or different years where you experience the weather differently. At some point, we had La Nina for 3 consecutive years, and just after that, we had one break of El Nino, which then increased a lot of temperatures. But one thing we've noted is that with the temperatures since about 2019, they've been above normal for the past 5 to 6 years in areas in the eastern parts, whether it's La Nina or El Nino. So what you'd have traditionally is that when you have above normal rains that are expected, you'd expect daytime temperatures to be low because you'd have more cloud cover, more rain. But in the past 5 years, we've been having both of that happening at the same time. So you'd expect above normal rains and above normal temperatures, which just tells you that the weather patterns definitely are changing in the eastern part. But we yet to still have more research and have more concrete. But one thing in the terms of the evidence is that we have cutoff low weather system, which is our upper air weather systems that are contributing more in the eastern part of the country, resulting in more of the weather conditions changing and being extreme.
Gosh, it's so interesting. It really is. But I think the bottom line is just get your car under cover. I think that's the only thing you can do because you don't know what's going to be happening next. Lelochonolo, thank you so much. Lelochonolo Tobela, he works for the SA Weather Services. You'll hear him with Africa almost every single morning. The bottom line is climate change is here, and get your car under cover.
7:02.
Coming up, the big interview.
Right, coming up on your program in the next half hour, talking about the 16 days of no violence against women and children. And there's a big launch ceremony happening in Gauteng today. And I know a lot of people roll their eyes and say it doesn't help. Nothing changes. It continues. We heard what our president said last week. The G20 had their social edition talking about this. We saw protests during the G20, activists saying no more GBV. Will this 16 days of no violence against women and children, will it actually work? Well, this year there's a slight twist in it. They're getting many people involved, the media, film companies, and all sorts of different things. They're trying to drive home this message. So all this and more coming up shortly, but it's just gone 7 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Hundreds have been displaced as a search for flood victims resumes in KZN, and members of parliament are preparing to grill Ket Matlala from prison. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The search for 2 people swept away by floods in KwaZulu-Natal is expected to continue this morning for a second day. Emergency services yesterday recovered the body of a woman who drowned in a river in New Hanover. Floods have damaged roads, bridges and homes, leaving thousands of people displaced. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
The KZN government says the building of temporary homes for affected residents will begin next week as assessments are still underway. Authorities say the extent of damage caused by the severe rains and floods is yet to be determined as they are still assessing the impact. The Human Settlements Department says it will next week start the process of acquiring temporary shelters. MEC Boniso Duma says he has also roped in the National Ministry.
Minister Smilan, who's going to be here on Monday next week, after I've done all the assessment, we are just going to build the TRUs. Almost more than 100 houses have been destructed.
And as disaster teams are still collecting data, a number of communities are facing power outages as a result of the weather. Cooperative Governance MEC Thulasizwe Buthelezi will visit the affected areas today. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, New Hanover.
Meanwhile, the South African Weather Services has issued an alert for severe thunderstorms in Gauteng, the northwest, Limpopo and Mpumalanga today. The rains are expected to cause localized flooding and damaging winds. Forecaster Lelochonolo Tobela.
Otherwise, it is a yellow level 2 warning of severe thunderstorms over Gauteng, the southern parts of Limpopo, as well as the extreme eastern parts of the Free State just east of Bethlehem into the afternoon for Tuesday, the 25th of November 2025.
Parliament's ad hoc committee probing allegations of police corruption resumes in Pretoria's Kgosi Mampuru maximum security today. The committee moved its business to the capital to be able to get oral evidence from attempted murder accused Vusmuzi Ket Matlala, who will appear before MPs tomorrow. Today, MPs will also have an opportunity to hear evidence at the same venue from Police Chief Financial Officer and Deputy National Commissioner Puleng Dimpane on issues around police finances and irregular expenditure. Babalondenza reports.
The ad hoc committee is scheduled to hear evidence from key witnesses in Gauteng this week. The first Gauteng witness is SAP's Chief Financial Officer, Lieutenant General Puleng Dimpane, who will cover issues around the political killings task team and related irregular expenditure. Vusmuzi Ket Matlala, who is currently awaiting trial at Kgosi Mampuru for an unrelated matter, will give evidence on Wednesday as part of the proceedings before the committee moves back to Parliament next week. Matlala, one of the main characters implicated in police corruption and interference, is expected to give explosive evidence tomorrow around the alleged payments and bribes he made to politicians like former Minister Bheki Cele and suspended Minister Senzo Mchunu. Parliament said the decision to move to Pretoria follows a resolution by the committee and is intended to ensure the safety and security of all parties. Babalondenza, Eyewitness News.
More evidence related to the takedown operation at the home of murder-accused Katiso KT Molefe will be presented before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry today. The commission is set to resume following a 2-day break with testimonies from Hawks members. Last week, self-proclaimed crime intelligence agent Bram Mokgotsi testified over 3 days from Tuesday to Thursday. Oren Singh reports.
EWN understands the testimony will relate to the arrest of Katiso KT Molefe. Molefe was arrested at his Sandhurst mansion in December in a clandestine operation by members of the KZN Political Killings Task Team and the Special Task Force. Previous testimony referred to interference from members of the Hawks and the Gauteng Traffic Police during the arrest. The PKTT raided Molefe's home in connection with the murder of Vereniging engineer Arman Swart. Swart was killed in April last year in relation to a Transnet tender. Investigations revealed that Molefe's son Tapelo and nephew Lucky colluded in awarding the tender to a company, SK Group. Lucky Molefe was a Transnet employee at the time. Both Lucky and Tapelo remain wanted by police. Oren Singh, Eyewitness News.
And rights group Amnesty International has accused Sudanese paramilitary of committing war crimes in the Darfur town of Al Fasher, saying the United Arab Emirates had facilitated their action. The UAE has consistently denied backing the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, which has been fighting Sudan's regular army since April 2023. The war pits the regular forces of General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan against the RSF, headed by his former right-hand man, Mohamed Dalgo. The RSF seized Al Fasher at the end of October, the last major city in the vast western region of Darfur that had remained outside their control. The paramilitary group said yesterday it was declaring a unilateral 3-month ceasefire. Amnesty International says it collected testimony from 28 survivors describing atrocities in Al Fasher, ranging from the summary executions of unarmed men to the rape of girls and women. Gold is trading at $4,144.99 an ounce. The rand is at 17.29 to the dollar, 22.65 to the pound, 19.91 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $63.18 a barrel.
And in the traffic, heading towards Fourways, we still have got that accident on Witkoppen Road. It happened near Douglas Drive. It's causing heavy traffic volumes while traveling in Sharon Lee. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on Malibongwe Drive. This is just as you approach the N1 exit coming out of President Fouché Drive.
And in your sport, the Proteas lose Rickleton, Markram and Bavuma, but still lead India by 365 on day 4 of the second test. Man United lost 1-0 to a 10-man Everton. And the Boks without 12 key players for Saturday's game with Wales.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers. Johannesburg is at a low of 11 degrees, peaking at 20. Pretoria, 14 and 21. Vereniging, 14 as well, and a high of 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the search for 2 people swept away by floods in KwaZulu-Natal is expected to continue this morning for a second day.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
It is 7 minutes past 7 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bongles this morning. And welcome to Tuesday, the 25th of November. For many, it's payday today. A little bit later on, we'll be speaking about Black Friday. Just be careful. Be really, really, really careful with Black Friday. There are lots of scams out there. We'll bring you that interview at about 8:15. Coming up shortly, though, today marks the beginning of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, a global campaign dedicated to shining a spotlight on the widespread impact of GBV. And I said it before, I know a lot of people shake their heads or roll their eyes and say, nothing's going to change with this campaign. We have it every single year. Well, this year's a little bit different. There's a new spin on the campaign. There's a new spotlight on the campaign, and I'll be getting into this one shortly. I'll be chatting to the Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, that's Ndisiwe Chikunga. She'll be joining us a little bit later on. And then in the past hour, a shout out this morning. I want to know from you, how did you meet your partner? How did you meet your partner, and was that person actually your type? We're having a little bit of fun this morning. Lots to talk about, 072-702-1702. But I do want to shift the focus a little bit to GBV. How do we stop gender-based violence in our communities? Why is it still happening? Despite the campaigns that we have, it continues on and on and on. These are just some of the stories we'll be following this morning. 072-702-1702.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
So, things you need to know about today. And like I said, it's the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. It kicks off in Gauteng. That's one of the big stories there. Then Chief Justice Mandisa Maya is set to present the annual judicial report, offering a detailed breakdown of key stats that will provide a clear view of the judiciary's performance over the past year. Now, the big one today, the Ad Hoc Commission returns to action today, featuring testimony from the police's CFO, Lieutenant General Puleng Dimpane. Now, the big story, Argentine football legend Diego Maradona passed away on this day in 2020 at the age of 60 after suffering a heart attack at his home in Buenos Aires. Now, Maradona, who captained Argentina to their 1986 World Cup victory, delivered some of the sport's most unforgettable moments, including that infamous hand of God goal against England. You'll remember that one. And then another big story. It's just an absolute massive story at the moment. Ukraine's ambassador to South Africa, Alexander Sherba, says his office is already in contact with one of the families of the 17 South African men trapped in the war-torn Donbass region. He made the comment on Newsroom Africa yesterday. Police have launched an investigation after an affidavit claimed that former President Jacob Zuma's daughter, Duduzile Zuma Sambudla, lured the men to Russia with promises of security training. I felt so sorry for these people because they went there thinking they would perhaps get a job, perhaps something would be a little bit different for them, and instead they're on the front line. They are being bombed by artillery. A few of them have said they don't think they're going to survive this. This is what Ukraine's ambassador to South Africa, Alexander Sherba, had to say yesterday.
Of course, I spent hours on the telephone calling all my friends with armed forces of Ukraine, trying to figure out what's happening. And I found out that, of course, there is no such group on our side, which means that that would be the group on fighting for Russia. And in the following days, this suspicion of mine, of course, was confirmed, unfortunately. There are these people who were lured under participation of some South African rather prominent people, lured against the law in South Africa to fight in this war of aggression against Ukraine. It's highly regrettable, and I am in touch with one of the families. I wrote an email to them, and suggested to them, let's figure out. Of course, it's highly regrettable for me as ambassador of Ukraine that your family members decided to fight in this war against my country, but I feel your pain, and let's try to figure out how to make sure that no such situations will occur in the future.
Yeah, get this group out and look at criminal charges being brought against those responsible. And then South Africa has made it very clear it won't be flying to the United States to hand over the G20 presidency. Instead, the US will have to receive it here at home. And International Relations Director General Zane Dangor, he was also speaking to News from Africa yesterday, saying that a senior DIRCO official will hand over the official report, a baton, as they say, possibly as early as today.
Well, the agreement is that we should do it low key. That's not, no, it's not just a South African issue. The US also doesn't want a very big handover event. So we will hand over at the level of a senior official from DIRCO to the US Chargé.
And then on a lighter note, on this day in 1995, Whitney Houston did it again with Exhale, Shoop Shoop. You remember that? Soared straight to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The soulful anthem born from the soundtrack of a hit film, Waiting to Exhale.
Someone must fail, but there comes a point when we exhale, yeah, say shoot, 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 baby, do, shoot, shoot, shoot. All you gotta do is say shoot, baby, shoot, baby.
30 years ago on this day, Whitney Houston did it again with Exhale, Shoop Shoop. Went straight to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
14 minutes past 7 o'clock. This Eyewitness News Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance if you don't ask them for 500 Rand. Right. Delays in fourways, Amo.
Yes, Ray, this is due to peak time delays. If you're traveling along Winnie Mandela Drive towards the N1 exit, do expect delays coming out of Witkoppen Road. There's also queuing traffic along Witkoppen Road heading towards Fourways. This is now due to an accident near Douglas Drive. While traveling in Sharonley, bumper-to-bumper traffic on Malibongwe Drive southbound between Bellis Drive and the N1 exit. There's also queuing traffic heading towards the city of Tshwane. Actually, please be on the lookout here because those roadworks are back up again, causing delays approaching Olifantsfontein Road. As a result, about a 10-minute hold up there. If you can, please try to use the N1 North through Midrand. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Well, the Outsurance pointsmen can't help you find your passport, but they can help ease the traffic congestion so you get to the airport on time to check in. With the Outsurance pointsmen on the roads for the past 20 years, we can all get where we need to be quickly and safely. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag pointsmenlove, a licensed insurer, and FSP.
My bro, just left this camp and I can confidently say I found the perfect spot for Black Friday. Yo, all the deals, all the feels, yeah, all in one place. This new Discount Better Rewards card, brilliant. You can save big time on over 140 Better Rewards brands. That's 10% off instantly on top of promo prices. Do yourself a favor, become a member, fill your basket, and make that amazing deals till slip longer than Ikuyase Home Affairs. Anyways, catch you later, bro. Black Friday just got lacquer.
South Africa has been taking its place on the world stage at the B20 and G20 Summits 2025, and Telkom is proud to stand with the nation building a digital future that reaches every community. Through reliable fiber, mobile and cloud networks, Telkom is connecting families, small businesses, and young people to new opportunities. They're helping drive digital public infrastructure so services are easier to access for all. Telkom, the digital backbone of South Africa's future.
You can become a victim of a legal problem, wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Hi, this is Alia Itzebet, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. A reminder that you can still shoot for the stars while playing responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counselling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
702.
The Big Interview.
7 now. The campaign is launched every year, but do we really see a difference? The 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children is set to be launched in Gauteng today. Under the theme Let's Sema, the campaign calls on men, women, boys, girls, and media houses, this is the important part, to work together to end gender violence and femicide. So it's a collective action to stop the scourge. When we talk about the media, it also brings together filmmakers, media professionals, and academia to stop such violence. President Cyril Ramaphosa was very vocal on GBV at the social gathering of the G20, and we saw a number of protests to stop GBV. Well, joining us now is Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth, and Persons with Disabilities, Sindisiwe Chikunga. Hi, Minister. Good morning. Good to have you on 702. Welcome.
Thank you for having us, and good morning to your listeners.
Minister, I've got to ask the question. I mean, the campaign is launched every year. We feature it every year. We hold our fingers. We hope it's going to stop, but it doesn't. The figures remain. It's different this time around the campaign, isn't it?
Indeed, it is different, happening immediately after our G20 and declaration that also refers to gender-based violence and femicide as a scourge that is not only affecting South Africa but affecting all G20 member states and invited states that were here in South Africa. However, even as you read the report by the United Nations, it actually refers to the fact that gender-based violence is a worldwide scourge. But of course, we are in South Africa and we are looking at our country as to what we are doing about it. And indeed, the president classified gender-based violence as a crisis, which calls on all of us then to look at what we need to do going forward immediately after the president announced that.
Yeah, so what happens now? I mean, it is a crisis, and you're right, it's all from around the world. It's not just South Africa, but we care about South Africa. So, I mean, what happens now after the president has spoken?
First, we have a launch today of the 16 days of activism. We join other world countries who are member states to UN as South Africa because we are too a member state. However, responding to what the president said, for instance, yesterday there was an intergovernmental meeting that was called to therefore look at what we need to do going forward. And indeed, there were presentations and there were decisions that were taken, and we will therefore be coming together again to say what are the actions that need to be taken from national to province to local government level and to a ward level so that we fight the scourge. And we all are agreeing to the fact that there is no one sector that will be able to deal and to fight gender-based violence by itself. And therefore, even government alone will not be able to fight gender-based violence by itself, because even our studies, research findings confirm that a lot of gender-based violence happens between intimate partners. Yeah. So it's something that happens in houses that are closed that nobody can see. And therefore, what becomes of critical importance to say, how do we conscientize, how do we make men aware of the fact that whether it is in the house or it is anywhere for that matter on the road, but gender-based violence is never an answer for any problem or for anything for that matter.
Minister, how do you get into the psyche of men? How do you do that? Because you're right, it's very easy for for a broadcaster like myself to point fingers at government, to say, well, this campaign's here again. But you're right, it happens behind closed doors where men turn on their partners and, there's a crime stat. How do you get into that national psyche to say, don't do it, because if you do it, you're actually no longer a man?
I think it starts with the socialization of our boy child. Teaching them that they can use their power to do anything. And I think that is where we would also want to focus, even as a department, that is the positive masculinity will actually be our focus. But of course, there are other social ills that are linked to gender-based violence or even crime for that matter. One of those will be the issue of abuse of alcohol. If you look at the levels of abuse of alcohol in South Africa, you can actually link, even our study did link alcohol to gender-based violence and femicide, use of drugs and abuse of drugs, in fact, use of drugs, and being linked to gender-based violence. So there are quite a number of social ills that need to be addressed in order to impact, even if you were to not to focus on gender-based violence, if you were to deal with the issue of drugs, if you are to deal with the issue of abuse of alcohol in South Africa, that will have automatically some impact in gender-based violence and femicide, in crime generally, in motor accidents in general, as such. So it's quite a number of issues. But of course, looking at what all we do when it has happened, our take, even our review of our national strategic plan has actually told us that we are investing a lot on response. And it is actually showing us that we must invest on prevention. Yeah. And that is exactly what we would also want to do, to say, how do we prevent the scourge that is affecting women so much in South Africa, but of course in the world.
Of course. I'm loving the new campaign, though, concentrating on media, filmmakers and storytelling. If it becomes part of the social norm, you see it on a Friday night while you're watching a movie, perhaps that's one way to get into someone's head, to say to them it's not right.
That is very true, because some of our young people, in fact, the report also that is scary is the report that says we're seeing the increase in the number, or in fact, we see the increase in the number of boys that are committing crimes such as rape. Yeah. As young as below 16 years are being arrested and are being charged for crimes such as rape. That is very scary. And if you look at the impact of media, the impact of films, the impact of entertainment, etc., the storytelling, for instance, we believe that is also the area that we should look at, to say how best can it actually communicate positive messages that actually discourage young boys from committing such crimes and from doing that. And that is why our launch today is actually focusing on those sectors, and we are happy because they've indicated to us that they will be coming in numbers and they are supporting this. Good. And that can actually make us very excited.
Yeah, go to schools, go all around, spread the message. I mean, the G20 leaders, they promoted positive masculinity, and Minister, you spoke about this as well. Is this a case of, be a man, be all you want to be as a man, but if you harm a woman, you're no longer a man, you're something else?
That's an important message, and starting from a boy child, being inculcated into the mind of a boy child, growing up with that understanding. But also we're looking at how communities are actually socializing young boys, direct or indirect, and we're looking at things such as, for instance, a protest that happened maybe because there's no water in a particular community. And the communities mobilize children from school so that those protests are big. And in the process of doing that, violence being committed, insults being uttered, etc., and probably ending with touching of buildings or burning of buildings, with young children being there and watching and actually learning from old people. And when these young girls and boys go to tertiary institutions, universities, and we see them probably having a problem with NFAS, what becomes the reaction to that is when they were socialized by their communities, that if you are frustrated by anything, torture something. We see buildings in our tertiary institutions being tortured, and we don't link that with what happens every day in our communities by communities who get frustrated by anything that happens there.
You're quite right, Minister. You are quite right. Think with your head, not with your fists. Minister, thank you so much for chatting to us. That's Sindisiwe Chikunga, who's the Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities. We'd like to hear from you. How do we stop GBV? What's your solution?
EWN Traffic.
28 minutes past 7. This EWN Traffic brought to you by South African Airways. SAA now operates 2 flights a day to Gaborone with morning and afternoon departures. Book now at flysaa.com. Amal, there was congested traffic in Fourways and elsewhere. What's happening now?
Well, Ray, we still have got delays along Winnie Mandela Drive approaching the N1 exit. Peak time delays there. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic along the N12 as well as the N1 north towards the Deepkloof interchange. This is as you leave Eldorado Park, Devland as well as Naturena areas. Do expect about a 20-minute hold-up altogether along this route and approach with care. I'll have more details coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Experience Johannesburg to Gaborone with South African Airways, where comfort meets convenience. Enjoy premium service, flexible morning and afternoon departures, and the warm hospitality SAA is known for. For a limited time, return fares start from just 2,762 Rand, all inclusive. Book by 4 December at flysaa.com. South African Airways, bringing you closer. T's and C's apply.
EWN Business.
And this business report is proudly sponsored by GIC. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC sets a better standard of living. GIC, changing lives. Right, Mateo and 10 cents. I don't get it. Why sell something that's amazing?
Yeah, it's not the entire stakes. It's partially the stake that they hold in 10 Cent. And we're talking here about the NASPA subsidiary process. They sold their stake in 10 cents to make a bit of a profit. They made about $3.3 billion. So not too bad there. Our process says it's seen earnings before interest and taxes hit $250 million or 4.3 billion Rand over the 6 months to end September. The Euronext listed company says a rise in earnings is boosted by higher revenue from its e-commerce business and the sale of that stake in China's Tencent Holdings. Tencent, of course, is a tech company in China. Naspers e-commerce portfolio is now worth around 800 billion Rand. The company's e-commerce division posted adjusted earnings before deductions on things like tax and other expenses up 70%, with revenue up more than 3.6 billion Rand. That's of course linked to better integration of its e-commerce businesses, including the Brazilian food delivery business and logistics business iFood and travel business Despejar. It also owns payments company PayU, online retailer Mishu, and healthcare app Pharma Easy. So they've been doing quite well in that e-commerce space. That's where business is going currently for them.
800 billion Rand. Okay, tell us about the Rand then.
Yeah, no, we had a good day on the markets yesterday. A bit of a rebound from the all share, up 374 points. Of course, we're nearly down 2,000 points on Friday. So a nice little green shoot yesterday. Mining shares up more than 2%, lifting the local market. There were some losses for industrials and banking stocks. Mining shares that pushed through yesterday: Valterra, the platinum group producer, up 4.9%. Sibanye Stillwater up 4.2%. Harmony was up more than 3%, with Anglo Gold and Northam up 2.5% respectively. Not a good day for Telkom. They were down 5.8%. MTN Group down 2%. Exxaro, the coal miner, was down 2.4%, with Process, despite those great results, down 2% yesterday. Rand at this hour, 17 Rand 29 against the US dollar, holding on to very marginal gains at 19 Rand 91 against the euro and at 22 Rand 65 cents against the British pound. Price of gold, $4,147 an ounce, while platinum is is up 0.5% at $1,557. Brent crude is now at $63.11 a barrel. More business after 8.
Change requires skill, an agile body to fill the gaps. But real change moves collaboratively, progressively, enabling, because it knows what to do and how to improve the lives of the deserving. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC actively brings change for the better, because real change sets a standard of living, of being. GIC, changing lives.
7:32. This Eyewitness News brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you can save on your car insurance. If you don't, just ask them for 500 Rand. Sifiso Zulu back at the Eyewitness News desk, and of course the AKA trial gets underway today.
Thanks, Ray. Good morning. 2 brothers implicated in the murder of rapper aka Kenan Forbes and chef Tibelo Motswane will appear in a Durban court this morning after being extradited from Eswatini 2 weeks ago. Siyabonga and Malusi Ndimande face charges including murder for a separate matter where a taxi boss was killed in Amanzi Mtoti. Forbes and Motswane were shot outside a Durban restaurant in February 2023. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
It's been 2 weeks since the Ndimande brothers were brought back to the country to face their alleged crimes. The state is accusing one of them of opening fire on Kenan Forbes on the night he was killed while leaving Wish restaurant in Durban. During their first court appearance on South African soil 2 weeks back, the case was postponed for further consultation by the defense lawyers Advocate Simpiwe Mlotshwa and Sibusiso Dlamini. It is still unclear whether the pair will apply for bail, but State Prosecutor Advocate Lawrence Caba has indicated the state would oppose it, saying the pair is a flight risk. The matter will be heard before the Durban Magistrates Court. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
NPA head Shamila Batoye has told an inquiry into Johannesburg prosecution's boss Andrew Chauke that his role in the prosecution of Johan Boysen was more just mere coordination. Batoye is testifying at the inquiry into Chauke's fitness to hold office as the main complainant. She's accused Chauke of going beyond his mandate and acting outside his jurisdiction when prosecution boss or Boysen and his Kato Manor Organized Crime Unit in KZN. But the panel presiding over the inquiry have asked Batoye whether Chauke, who led the prosecution's team in the matter, made any real decisions or if his task was merely coordination.
There is indication that Advocate Chauke is involved in activities that go beyond mere coordination. For example, the 8th of August at 8 a.m., indictment preparation. Likewise, that's not simply a coordination function.
The trial of Durban gun dealer Anderson Padeachi resumes in the Western Cape High Court today. Padeachi is standing trial for allegedly selling high-caliber rifles and firearms to gang members in Cape Town between 2018 and 2019. He was arrested by the Hawks in 2021 and his trial began in November last year. Padeachi faces a total of 66 charges under the Prevention of Organised Crimes and the Fire Control Act. Camray Clark reports.
Firearms registered to Padeachi's gun dealership in Durban were allegedly implicated in murders committed by the notorious Terrible Justice gang. The state argues that the firearms are linked to 8 premeditated murders and claims that Padeachi pocketed 700,000 Rand from the sale. It also added that the accused should have foreseen the likelihood of the firearms being used in criminal activity, yet proceeded to supply the gang with the firearms. Padeachi has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Camray Clark, Eyewitness News.
And overnight, Pakistan strikes on neighboring Afghanistan have killed at least 10 people. A Taliban spokesperson says Pakistan bombed the house of a local civilian resident, killing her and 9 children. The attack follows an unclaimed suicide attack yesterday that targeted Pakistan's security forces in a province bordering Afghanistan. Another suicide blast in the capital, Islamabad, this month killed 12 people and was claimed by the Pakistan Taliban, which shares the same ideology as the Afghan Taliban. The bombings followed days of cross-border fire in October, which ended with a fragile truce. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 14 degrees, peaking at highs between 20 and 21.
And in the traffic in Centurion, there's been an accident. It's on the N14, N1 North, right after the Braakfontein interchange. It is causing heavy traffic volumes. Please be on the lookout there. And if you're heading towards Clubview, another accident scene, this time on the N14 northbound. It is right near Euphus Road. It is causing delays. Please be on the lookout there.
The top story, 2 brothers implicated in the murder of AKA and Tibelo Mutswane will appear in Durban this morning in court after being extradited from Eswatini 2 weeks ago.
You could spend 10 minutes waiting for the microwave to beep or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 55-year-old Stefan, who now only pays an unbelievably low 611 Rand a month for his 2024 Suzuki Jimny. With Outsurance, you can drive with confidence. With up to a whopping 5 million Rand third-party liability cover that covers damage to the other person's vehicle in an accident, you can rest assured. SMS out to 45142. After switching, 55-year-old Andre now pays only 776 Rand a month for his 2024 Toyota Urban Cruiser. Get a quote. If Outsurance can't beat what you're currently paying, ask them for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Don't miss out on playing Powerball and Powerball Plus for 57 million Rand in total estimated jackpots this Tuesday. Now, that's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 51 million Rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 6 million Rand today. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial star 120 star 7529 hash for USSD. Panda push to play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be? The man who's the life of the party even when he doesn't attend.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin high-performance supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and vitalamin.co.za. Vitalamin. Don't get older. Get better.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Do you suffer from heartburn and hyperacidity? To relieve heartburn for the whole day and night with one tablet, a potent once-a-day treatment which was previously prescription only is now available over the counter. Ask your pharmacist for an over-the-counter, long-lasting heartburn treatment. Brought to you by Sandoz.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hey Ray, good morning to the minister and the rest of the 702 lenders. For us to defeat the scourge of GBV, the president must, he happens to be a man like Kilimi before us. He has to lead this. He has to have a campaign, a program that he actively leads. Not for him to just mention that GBV is a crisis on the sidelines of G20. No, he has to actively lead this. Then secondly, the judiciary system. The sentences given to the perpetrators, they are just too lenient. I'm citing an example of a man that got 14 years for stabbing a woman to death in front of his child. 14 years. What is that? Thank you.
Good morning, Ray. This is Cynthia. You got the minister there. I just want to bring to her attention that there's many ways that we've failed in our fight against GBV. I can hear all her promises and intentions. She must not include in that the forensic labs, the backlog in the forensic labs. That is also a failure.
Great subject on GBV. I just wanted to highlight that,
we also need to understand that, gender-based violence is not only physical. It can be psychological, emotional. There's abuse where people use money to abuse others and all the other stuff. So I think just because, physical GBV is seen because of somebody might, show bruises, physical bruises, but there's those that are dying emotionally and psychologically because, at the hands of others, just because they are women. So I just wanted to bring that to the fore. Simon in Veldefien Park.
Thank you. That's a very good point. It's a really good point. It's not just violence, it's psychological. But why do we do this to each other? Why? And I say we, because I'm not speaking for everybody, because there's lots of good men out there, really good men, who don't do this, who stick up for those who are abused. But why do some do this? Why do they abuse their partners? That's the whole thing. And it's like I said, it's very easy to point fingers at our presidents or point fingers at the minister, but it's what happens behind closed doors on a Friday night at 11 o'clock after someone had too much to drink. Those are the problems. That's when people get stuck into each other. Isn't it time for us to have a look in a mirror, look at ourselves and ask ourselves the question, why are we doing this? Maybe that's a question we need to ask.
702.
What's the question?
Right, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little bit later on, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save in your car insurance. If you don't, ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. So we need ourselves an answer. Let me see. Dingon. Hi, Dingon. Good morning. What then is the answer?
Good morning, Mr. Ray. The answer is exhale.
Oh, exhale. Oh, I like that, Dingon.
Yes.
Nicely done. Oh, by the way, do you have a quote with Outsurance?
Yes, I heard, sir.
Lovely. You've just won yourself 1,000 Rands in cash. Congratulations. There we go, Dingon. Well done. So the answer is exhale. I said to you, exhale. What then is the question? We'll take the fifth caller this morning. 011-883-0702 in line to win 2,000 Rands in cash.
EWN Sport.
So, Cindy, the follow-on wasn't enforced.
No, it wasn't.
It's interesting. I thought they would have.
Maybe they looked at the wicket and thought, if we let, because then they might have thought India would then have got into a rhythm. So maybe that's the reason for like breaking a follow-on. Do you know what I mean? Like breaking now their eyes in while they're batting. Who knows? But it's the Proteas have lost 3 wickets today. They're still in control of the second test. They started on day 4 on 26 without loss. They won 107 for 3 at tea, a lead of 395. Rickleton caught for 35. Markram bowled for 29. Bavuma caught for 3. In the middle is Stubbs on 14. Dezorzi's on 21. A 10-man Everton beat Manchester United 1-0. Idrissa Gana Gueye was sent off in the opening 13 minutes for slapping his teammate Michael Keane. Everton scored the only goal in the 29 minutes through Dewsbury Hall. Man United boss Ruben Amorim.
Frustration, disappointment about the way we play the game. I think they were the better team with 11. They defend really well with 10 men. 70 minutes. I think we deserve to lose. We didn't play well. We didn't play with the right intensity. And that's it.
Bafana coach Hugo Broos named his 54-player preliminary squad for AFCON starting December. Not on the list, Grant Kekana and Motabi Mvala, but Themba Zwane is in the squad despite being injured. Bafana's first match against Angola, 22nd of December. In the Betway Premiership tonight, Orlando Pirates are hosting Chipper at Orlando Stadium. That's at 7:30. UEFA Champions League continues. The early kickoff, Ajax are hosting Benfica. Later, Juventus away at Bodo Glimt. Newcastle takes on Marseille. Manchester City are hosting Leverkusen. Dortmund against Villarreal. And Barcelona travel to battle Chelsea. A lot of the hype is around the two teenagers in the sides going head-to-head. The 18-year-olds, Chelsea's Estavio and Barca's Yamal. Blues defender Cucurella compared them.
Very special players. They have a lot of talent. They always want to the ball. They always try to do the one-by-ones. And then I think maybe the only difference, or at the moment the difference is like Lamine, he's playing in Europe for maybe 2-3 seasons ago, and Estevao is arriving this season, but he's doing really well. I think if he continuing in this way and this level and improving in all the aspects, he can arrive to Lamine's level.
And Springboks clash the Wales this week. It falls outside the international window. The Boks are without 12 key players in the front. Marks, Thomas du Toit, Fenta Snyman and Peter Steff. From the back will be missing Williams, Pollard, Lebok, Creel, Colby and Van der Merwe. They've all returned to their clubs. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Join the Times Square Lights Extravaganza this December. Experience our gardens outside the Sunbet Arena come alive with bright, sparkling festive lights. Take a stroll and discover mesmerizing photo opportunities at every turn. After that, grab a bite and drink in the Times Square festive atmosphere. Bring your friends and family and enjoy the Times Square Lights Extravaganza this December. Experience our gardens come alive with bright, sparkling festive lights.
Unbox up to 70% off with At Home this Black Friday. New deals and more styles have just been added. Get 25% off all bedding and inners, including Granny Goose, plus elevate your kitchen with up to 20% off all kitchenware, including 2,000 rands off Sage appliances. Shop these exclusive deals in store or online now on Bash for a limited time while stocks last. TFG Rewards members only. T's and C's apply. At Home, imagine more.
Dashing through the roads to get to Chamberlain. Gifts and tools galore and super savings, yay. Keep your garden bright and green. Pools sparkling clean. Paints and lights and tents and brides, oh, everything you need. Visit Chamberlain between 20 November and 4 January for expert advice, friendly festive service and a wide range of products. 10% off paint mixing on Finest 1903, Dulux, Pluscon and Chamber Value paint. And free pool water testing. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
EWN Traffic.
It's 12 minutes to 8 o'clock. This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Opel Mokka. Turn heads in the sleek and unmissable Opel Mokka. Now on offer for only 6,775 Rand a month. Amor, the roads seem to be a little bit better.
Well, if you're traveling in Centurion Ray, we've got an accident reported on the N1 North. It happened right near John Forster Drive. It's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of the Brakfontein interchange. And then heading towards Club View, we've got another accident scene reported on the N14 North. This one is right near Littleton Road. It also is causing delays coming out of the Brakfontein turnoff. So unfortunately, at this particular moment, if you try to move away from the scene on the N1 North, you'll still be met with another one on the N14 North. So please be on the lookout there and be patient if you're traveling within the Centurion area. And then heading towards the city of Tshwane, we've got roadworks on the R21 North approaching Olifantsfontein Road. As a result, delays from the R25 turn off. There's also queuing traffic on Olifantsfontein Road approaching the R21 as a result. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Dispatch, this is Patrol. We've pulled over a compact SUV. Not too sure about the color. Mamba, maybe. Mamba? Affirmative. Sleek. Futuristic. Different in a cool way. Definitely German. Approaching now.
Officer, do you need backup?
I just had to tell someone how cool it is.
Turn heads in the new unmissable Opel Mokka. Check out the bold design at your nearest dealer or on opel.coza.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance now to win 2,000 rands in cash. We gave away 1,000 rands to, I think it was Dingaan who gave us the answer. So Dingaan gave us the answer. Exhale is the answer for 2,000 rands in cash, courtesy of Outsurance. Well, what
No,
then
actually,
is
Faith
the
sent me that
question?
song, and I was like, shoot, shoot, shoot.
All right, hold on a second. Now, let's not get there just yet. What then is the question? I said I'd take the fifth one, the fifth question, the fifth person here. Let's go to Johanna in Davidson. Hi, Johanna.
Yes, what's the name? Sorry, what was the question again?
Well, the answer was exhale. What then is the question?
What's the name of the song by Whitney Houston that was the number one on the Billboard Hot 100 on this day in 1995?
Johanna, you are the best in the world, okay? Do you have a quote? Yes, you do. Don't worry.
Yes, I do.
We gave you the cheers anyway. 2,000 rands in cash on its way to you. Johanna, well done. Johanna in Davidson winning that. And indeed, on this day in 1995, Whitney Houston did it again with Exhale, the Shoop Shoop song. It soared straight to number one on the Billboard Hot 100. And that sound you heard is in 1995, MTV News. There was this interview where Whitney Houston talks about her hit song, the Exhale Shoop Shoop song. She opens up about the deep meaning behind the lyrics.
No, actually, Faith sent me that song, and I was like, shoop, 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 do-we-do. Come on, man. You lost words? I mean, yeah, what's up, you know? No, actually, I said, I heard the lyric. Everyone falls in love sometimes. Sometimes it's wrong, sometimes it's right. For every win, someone must fail, but there comes a point when you exhale. That's poetry.
What is the significance of the exhale in the movie and the song?
Oh, come on. We all want to exhale sometimes. Just go, whew, thank you, Lord. It actually happened.
If you're in the traffic this morning, just go, whew. She's right. You just have to exhale sometimes.
You could spend 10 minutes hunting for the TV remote, or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For her 2024 Kia Picanto, 52-year-old Janine now only pays 561 Rand a month. And for her 2025 Jatua Dashing, 29-year-old Sana pays just 796 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
If you want a versatile SUV that's smart, efficient, and seriously advanced, meet the all-new BYD Sea Lion 5 plug-in hybrid. It's the affordable SUV that gives electric power for your everyday trips, fuel-powered backup for your longer drives, and premium tech everywhere you look. The BYD Sea Lion 5 is packed with cutting-edge tech, from a advanced driver assist safety features to the groundbreaking DMI technology. The BYD Sea Lion 5 makes every drive smarter. Visit www.byd.com and pre-book your test drive today. BYD, build your dreams.
Nothing beats the summer holidays, lazy pool days, ocean waves, festivals, food, and family fun. That special time is almost here, and with Fly Safair's affordable, flexible fares, you can zoom off to SA's hottest spots. Sunshine guaranteed, worries not included. For big holiday savings, use our low fare finder to hunt down the best flight prices in just seconds. Don't be a bummer. Fly into summer. Book now at flysafair.co.za. Fly Safair, for the love of flying.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for optometrists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Here's Chrissy.
Business Outsurance is the best insurer for my business. They have great premiums, wonderful service. I know without a doubt that Outsurance has my back, and you always get something out with Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702.
What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Morning, Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Ray Ray.
Right, I deleted it. What's that all about?
Yeah, I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you've deleted something important, maybe a document for work or some magical memories, photos, or whatever it may be, and it's gone, and you just deleted it? I mean, nowadays, I suppose, you know, when you delete something on your phone or you delete something off your computer, it goes to a box where then it asks you again, are you sure you want to delete this? And then, you know, you can luckily retrieve it if you do. But this guy, he was sitting in his lounge at his TV, and I think maybe he deleted something off his hard drive or whatever it may be that he had connected to the TV. And the poor guy has a complete meltdown. Now, I hope KG has bleeped some of the F-bombs, so let's take a listen to this poor guy. He can't believe he's deleted something, and he needs help.
Oh no, I deleted it! Oh my God! Help me! Help me! Help me, God! Oh my God, I deleted it! Oh my God, I deleted it! Ah! 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 Oh no! How do I get it back? Oh God, how do I get it back? How do I get it back?
do need to know, what on earth did he delete? Like the lottery
I've no
ticket or something?
idea.
What was that?
I have no idea what he's deleted, but
Wow.
whatever it is something of huge value and importance.
Wow.
So shame. I feel very, very sorry for him, because he's having a proper meltdown.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, how cruel is that other person who's just watching him and filming him instead of saying, okay, let's sort it out. Let's see what we can do here to maybe retrieve what has been deleted.
But what can be that bad? Like,
I don't know. Maybe it was his Bitcoin wallet, or maybe it was the birth of his children. Who knows? I mean, we keep all these wonderful things, online and on devices, and then sometimes things happen. So I wanted to ask that to our family, 702 family, this morning. Have you been in that situation where you've saved something and you deleted it by accident, or something crashed on the hard drive or the computer and everything you had saved is gone?
Gosh. All right, your second one. What are the things you won't touch? Things I won't touch. What won't you touch? What's this all about?
So this is somebody went to a shopping mall and did an experiment on one of the escalators, and basically, once the experiment was done, it was all these germs and dirt that they had discovered on this cloth. And I don't know about you, but I mean, that's one thing I never put my hand on is on an escalator rail. I'll never touch that. And the other thing is, on a toilet door. When you're exiting the men's toilet door or the ladies' toilet door, I always hope that when you exit, the door is one of those doors that you push and, you push out instead of having to grab the handle and pull inwards to the door. So, those are two things for me that I really never touch. What are some of the other things that you perhaps don't like to touch? Because maybe you're a germaphobe.
Maybe you are, maybe you don't like snakes, maybe you don't, I don't know, whatever it may be. There we go, Kabazella, I love that. Love to hear from you. What are the things you won't touch? And also, as well, have you ever deleted something and you panicked like that guy? Maybe not like that guy, but you panicked. Love to hear from you. 072 702 1702.
702
Feedback
with Siamtanda Matiso.
Siamtanda, have you ever deleted the show just before Bongs was going to start?
Actually, this actually happened.
No.
So, as you know, Ray, we have something called a runner, where we
Yes.
outline like what's going to be on the program and so forth. And we thought, let's do it via a Google Drive, like the shared document where we can all edit to speed up things. I don't know where Bongani pressed, but we lost all of the work. And I panicked because happening is there. His questions are there, but he's a pro. He found a way. We had to like edit on the fly while the show was going, but he's a pro. He managed. Actually, it turned out to be the best show we ever did. So it was one of those situations where we were like, we're literally on God's hands.
Look, he's back on Thursday, so
Hope
maybe
he doesn't delete it.
Let's try it again. Maybe I'll have another good show. You never know.
Yeah.
What else are you watching?
Listen, many reacting to your interview with the Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, Sindisiwe Chikunga. They're saying the government does these whole briefings and stuff, but no action has ever been done. So they need action. They want to see that. They want to see our forensic labs fixed. They want to see police taking this seriously. And they also just want tightened laws. Maybe also providing psychology in schools, because some kids come from abusive backgrounds, and I think what is happening at home is okay. And maybe if they get that out of the way, then it will improve things.
Should be a subject to schools, I think.
Exactly.
Quite right.
And on the lighter note, we talked about the British millionaire, Sir Benjamin Slade, that Adam will talk about, who has a list on when it comes to the people that he wants to date. And we posed that question. How did you meet your partner, and were they your type? We've heard so many adorable ways that you guys have met your partners, and me and Bapelida are very inspired. It turns out that though you guys are not married to your types, but you definitely love your partners and how you guys met. So I can't wait to hear this and more reactions.
That's it. All your stories coming up shortly. It's just gone 8 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Day 2 of a search for flood victims in KZN, and Ket Matlala prepares to give his evidence to MPs in prison. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. There's hope that a man and a woman swept away by floods in KwaZulu-Natal will be found as rescue crews continue with operations this morning. The body of another woman was recovered by emergency teams yesterday in a river in New Hanover. KwaZulu-Natal has been battered by severe thunderstorms causing flooding since Sunday. Hundreds of people have been displaced after their homes were damaged, and Human Settlements MEC Sponiso Duma says temporary housing has been provided for flood victims.
We are just going to build the TRUs. Almost more than 100 houses have been destructed.
Parliament's ad hoc committee probing allegations of police corruption resumes in Pretoria's Jose Mampuru maximum security today. The committee moved its business to the capital to be able to get oral evidence from attempted murder accused Vusmuzi Matlala, who will appear before MPs tomorrow. Today, MPs will also have an opportunity to hear evidence at the same venue from Police Chief Financial Officer and Deputy National Commissioner Puleng Dimpane on issues around police finances and irregular expenditure. Babalondenze reports.
The ad hoc committee is scheduled to hear evidence from key witnesses in Gauteng this week. The first Gauteng witness is SAP's Chief Financial Officer, Lieutenant General Puleng Dimpane, who will cover issues around the political killings task team and related irregular expenditure. Vusmuzi Matlala, who is currently awaiting trial at Jose Mampuru for an unrelated matter, will give evidence on Wednesday as part of the proceedings before the committee moves back to Parliament next week. Matlala, one of the main characters implicated in police corruption and interference, is expected to give explosive evidence tomorrow around the alleged payments and bribes he made to politicians like former Minister Bheki Cele and suspended Minister Senzo Mchunu. Parliament said the decision to move to Pretoria follows a resolution by the committee and is intended to ensure the safety and security of all parties. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
More evidence related to the takedown operation at the home of murder-accused Katiso Katie Molefe will be presented before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry today. The commission is set to resume with testimony from Hawks members following a 2-day break. Last week, self-proclaimed crime intelligence agent Bram Mkhotsi testified over 3 days from Tuesday to Thursday. Oren Singh reports.
EWN understands the testimony will relate to the arrest of Katiso Katie Molefe. Molefe was arrested at his Sandhurst mansion in December in a clandestine operation by members of the KZN Political Killings Task Team and the Special Task Force. Previous testimony referred to interference from members of the Hawks and the Gauteng Traffic Police during the arrest. The PKTT raided Molefe's home in connection with the murder of Vereniging engineer Armand Swart. Swart was killed in April last year in relation to a Transnet tender. Investigations revealed that Molefe's son Tapelo and nephew Lucky colluded in awarding the tender to a company, SK Group. Lucky Molefe was a Transnet employee at the time. Both Lucky and Tapelo remain wanted by police. Oren Singh, Eyewitness News.
And Ukraine and Russia are counting casualties after trading deadly overnight strikes as negotiators scramble to revise a peace framework to end the nearly 4-year conflict ahead of a U.S.-imposed deadline. U.S. President Donald Trump has given Kyiv until tomorrow, or rather Thursday, to respond to his proposal to end the fighting. Kyiv and its allies have spent the weekend hammering away at Washington's 28-point plan, which initially favored Russia's hardline demands, requiring the invaded country to cede territory, cut its military, and pledge never to join NATO. An updated version aiming to uphold Ukraine's sovereignty was threshed out over the weekend at an emergency talk mission in Geneva. The president of the European mission, Ursula von der Leyen, has criticized the proposal that Ukraine give up some of its territory as part of the Trump peace deal.
Ukraine's territory and sovereignty must be respected. Only Ukraine, as a sovereign country, can make decisions regarding its armed forces. The choice of their destiny is in their own hands.
Gold is trading at $4,148.87 an ounce. The rand is at 17.28 to the dollar, 22.64 to the pound, 19.90 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $63.16 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Centurion, we've got an accident on the N1 North that happened near John Foster Drive, delays from the Brockfontein interchange. And there's also another accident seen in the same area, Centurion, on the N14 North near Littleton Road, also slowing things down coming out of the Brockfontein turnoff.
And in your sport, it's day 4 of the second test. The Proteas have added 81 runs to their overnight score, but lost 3 wickets. At tea, they were 107 for 3, a lead of 395 over India. Betway Premiership resumes tonight with Orlando Pirates hosting Chipper. Also a busy night in the Champions League ahead. Manchester United lost to a 10-man Everton 1-0.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. There's hope that a man and a woman swept away by floods in KwaZulu-Natal will be found as rescue crews continue with operations this morning.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
Just gone 7 minutes past 8 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bongles this morning. He'll be back with you on Thursday. So it's been quite an eventful show so far, I must admit. Talking about GBV, gender-based violence, how to combat it. I'm loving your suggestions so far. It comes from within. It comes from us. And I've been sticking up for the government this morning. What do? Do you blame them for everything, the things that happen behind closed doors? That's some great suggestions. Perhaps at schools we have a class, we have a subject, we have a topic, something that our youngsters study so they know it's wrong. They don't do it. They don't see it from their fathers, think it's okay. I'm going to do it because dad does it. Perhaps that's the answer. I'd love to continue that conversation this morning. Then having a little bit of fun as well. You would have heard of the Kabazela. Have you ever deleted something by accident or thought you did and you heard this guy throwing his toys out of the cot? So I want to know what he lost. But have you ever lost something, deleted something, got onto your laptop and that was it, Mateo?
It's not as bad as somebody losing their Bitcoin. I know people have deleted their Bitcoin accounts before it actually blew up. So
yikes.
For me, it was a project at UJ. I was still in varsity. I was about to hand it in that day. I don't know what I was doing, but the final version, when you rename it and you say final, that's the version I deleted.
Yeah.
Somebody was smart enough to help me retrieve the document. I didn't have to explain to my parents why I failed the subject. So, I got it in time, luckily for me. So that's the worst I've ever done in terms of deleting anything.
Yeah. Amo, the other topic is, what are the things you won't touch? Are you a germaphobe? I mean, are you?
Not really. I'm not. But I'm very particular with my kids when they come back from school. I won't allow them to touch my face. When they reach for that, I'm just like, just
Those
go
little
wash your
hands.
hands. I know they've been everywhere. Those hands they touch everything possible. So just wash your hands before you touch mommy or my face. That's all I need.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But otherwise, no, I'm not a germaphobe.
All right, so we're talking about that. Maybe you don't like scorpions or spiders or snakes or something like that. Also talking about relationships. Where did you meet your partner? And was he or her or were they your type? So 072 702 1702.
Morning, Ray. So this is how I met my wife. So I was going on a date with this girl that I had just met. It was supposed to be our first date. So I went to a flat in Braamfontein to pick her up on the Friday night. While I was waiting for her to put on her makeup and stuff, I was sitting on a sofa. Someone knocked at the door. Opened the door and I just saw this person that I felt I'm supposed to be with this person instead. So long story short, the date did not happen. So this girl was actually my date's friend, right? Long story short, the date didn't happen. And 24 years later, I am with that girl that knocked at the door. Yeah, that's my story. Anonymous in Kempton Park.
Awesome.
Hi, 72 Landers. I actually love the story of how I met my husband. It was a joke, not really, but what had happened was I was working with a different gentleman who worked in a different province, and we would only communicate via email. And one time he needed something urgently, and then we called, and he was Tswana, and I had completely was not interested in dating Tswana guys, But the voice and the language, it really intrigued me. And I'm Sotho, so I was like, huh? But either way, and I went on my status and I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, why didn't you tell me Tswana guys can sound so nice? And one of my other friends was like, oh, okay, you're open to that now? Let's set you up on a blind date. And I had a blind date, and the rest is history. Married 5 years now. Best time of my life.
How's it, Ray? Yeah, it's Fred, yeah. So how I met my wife is I've always bragged to my friends on how I find redheads attractive, with the freckles and all of it. And one day, friends of my friends had their daughter come and visit, and we were sitting in church. Well, they were sitting in church, and my friend nudged his wife and says, "Hey, redhead, Fred." And they invited me for a potjie at their place, and this Friday will be our 5th year anniversary. I've been happy, got my redhead, got the freckles, and loving every second of it.
You know, it's so interesting. Types. People have types. Mateo, do you have a type? And I asked you earlier and you said, no, my wife is my type. But do you have a type? I mean, I have a few types, which I'm not going to go into, but I'm asking about your types.
Look, Ray, this commission that you've opened here on this breakfast show, my wife is my type.
You're just going to leave it there, right?
I'm going to leave it there, yes.
Mrs. Juaripe, all right, there we go. I mean, do you have a type? I mean, maybe, Calvin's not that type, but you love him anyway. I'm digging a hole here, but off you go.
I love my husband, Ray. I love him to bits.
Okay,
and I'm happy with him. Yeah, I'm pleased with him.
This is like trying to interrogate those people in the Second World War, and they will just give you a rank and serial number. And that's all it's going to
Look,
be.
we've been trained well.
You have been trained very well. Keep your WhatsApps coming. 0727021702.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Good morning, 702. How you guys doing? I hope you all are well. Oh God, if I have to delete my work, that's my notes and stuff, then I will definitely scream. But not like that, dude. I feel so sorry and I really want to know, what did he miss? What went so bad? Yeah, I had incidents before, but that time I wasn't studying, so it wasn't a biggie. But yes, now I have my all notes, my study notes. I still have it on my laptop, but it's more convenient on the phone, So yeah, that's that for me. Enjoy.
Yo, Ray. I'm a firearms instructor, so sometimes I would always get guys asking me to assist with the motivation for a firearm for personal carry. So this one time I wrote a very good motivation that would that would convince the central firearm officer to the core. Like the English there and the reasons behind that, I'm telling you, there was no need for him to disapprove. Then, guess what? Yeah, Jeff Mpinga, Val.
Good morning, 702 lenders. Yes, I wrote a book. I finished it. I saved it on a memory stick. The same memory stick, I put it on someone's laptop. Unfortunately, my memory stick had virus. So on her laptop, it was swiped off. I couldn't even retrieve it from the old computer. The thing is, I was still not having an understanding of the computers. So now the whole book was gone. I just forgot about it because I wrote it from beginning to the end. I just gave it up. Thank you.
You lost a whole book. I mean, you lose, that's months. Research. I don't think anybody can rival that one. Perhaps you can. 0727021702.
Hello, good morning, Ray. This is Sugar. The only thing I'll never touch with my hands, it's a glass. Be it a glass door, a car window, anything which is glass, you'll never find my fingerprint on it. That stays in my mind. Thank you. Bye.
Things you just won't touch. I mean, sometimes you go to the bathroom, right? And they've got that door. And I'm not a germaphobe, but they've got the door and it's got a door handle. So you come out of the bathroom. Do you grab that door with your whole hand? Or do you perhaps go, there were probably about 20 people before me. before it was cleaned. Do you grab that handle or do you use your pinky to navigate around it, Mateo?
Elbow, always the elbow for me.
Elbow. Well, exactly.
Always the elbow.
Things you won't touch this morning.
EWN Traffic.
Right, I'm all Centurion. Oh dear, there's been a crash.
Yes, Ray, it's on the N1 North, right near John Foster Drive. There's calls and delays from the Brackfontein interchange. There's another one reported on the N14 North before Littleton Road. Also calls and delays coming out of the Brackfontein turnoff. And traveling on the N14 West, we've got an accident scene reported. This is now as you head towards areas like Deep Snoot as well as Four Ways. It's right near the R511. It's causing heavy traffic volumes. Please be on the lookout there. And then heading towards the city of Tshwane, we've got those roadworks along the R21 North, delays between the R25 and Olifantsfontein Road. Traveling in Rand Park, Richveld, Vreden Park, an accident right near Beyasnodia Drive, causing delays coming out of 14th Avenue. About a 10-minute hold up here. Please be on the lookout there and approach with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. 702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Talking now about Black Friday. And Black Friday used to feel like a fun shopping holiday. The day we all raced for bargains and bragged about our deals. You'll remember that. But lately it's starting to look a lot less like a celebration and more like a financial danger zone. There are people out there trying to get your money. There are people out there who will con you. They will sell you something and you can't take it back because they've got that little no refund, no exchange on the door, that kind of thing. And you need to be made aware of this. Well, joining us is Sarah Nicholson she's the head of customer experience at Just Money. Hi, Sarah. Good morning. Good to have you on 702.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Why has Black Friday shifted from bargain hunting excitement to something experts now calling a financial danger zone? What do we need to look out for?
I think there's a number of factors that come into this. There's some psychological triggers that, it's become really, really popular, and it's tapping into it actually creates a sense of scarcity and urgency with limited time offers and fast-selling items. So people are really feeling the pressure to purchase something, and that really then opens up the opportunities for scammers to actually take advantage of people's urgency and then come up with really clever ideas of ways to actually steal our hard-earned cash. And we've actually seen some of the statistics. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Globally, Black Friday spending has actually reached a new high of 74.4 billion in just 24 hours. And that's a 5% rise in spending from 2020 to 2024. So you can just imagine the opportunity available to scammers is really high. And it's super important that we stay aware and manage our budget and how we spend very carefully.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we look out for? I alluded to no refund, no exchange. Is it because they know they're giving you a dud product, so don't come back, we've got your money, and that's the end of the story?
Definitely. I think there's a number of things that one needs to look out for. And there's one, trust your gut. Really, if the deal is too good to be true, please listen to it and go and double check it. But I think often what scammers are doing is they're setting up websites that look a lot like a well-known retailer. And they'll send out adverts on social media that look really good. It looks like this product that you know is quite expensive is now available at a phenomenal price. You go through to that website and you actually then go and purchase the product and never get the product. So it's really important to just be aware of that, and then also be careful of any links that are coming through on SMS, WhatsApp, or email. There are many sites that do send you safe links, but it's just important that you double check that the official site is actually advertising the same type of deals that you're finding in your SMS or however you've received that link. So I think those are like two very popular ways of getting people to spend their cash and then unfortunately being scammed.
So in other words, go with a website where you know the name, you know the brand, you know you're going to be okay. Because, even in the days of now overseas websites, and we've had a whole lot of new ones. I'm not going to name any because I don't want to end up being in a dispute with them. But it's taken a long time to trust these websites. Do they really work? You start asking your friends, and then it sort of spreads after that. Yes, I've tried it. That's a very good website. Is it something we should do? If you don't know about it, ask about it, or just leave it out?
Definitely. I mean, try things out, but check reviews. Go and do your research. Ask your friends. You can even use a website. It's called Yima, which will then South African platform, and it actually checks the website's authenticity. So I think that's very useful. But it's important to check with your friends as well. And if it's something that makes you feel like something is slightly off. Again, like you've given hints and said, if they don't give a return, if the spelling is slightly off, if the images look a little bit strange, then be aware and go and do your research before going and making a purchase. And then also make sure that they're using what we call proper payment gateways. There's some well-known payment, safe and secure payment platforms that we use in South Africa and even overseas. Do your research on that and make sure you're using a safe platform to make payments through so that your card details are not stolen either. And then use a credit card rather than a debit card where possible, bearing in mind, manage your budget. But they do offer a little bit more protection for fraud detection. And if there are any issues, it's a bit easier to get your money back through that.
That's a lovely point. It really is. Use your credit card instead. Sarah Nicholson, thank you so much. Head of Customer Experience at Just Money.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Morning, Adam.
Good morning, Raimondo. How are you?
Lovely to chat to you. Lovely to chat to you. But the story, the invasion, murder, and sex slave trial. Tell us more.
I promise I'm not making this up, though it does sound absolutely fantastical. So what we have are two men in their 20s, both from Texas, both now standing trial for this, Gavin Weisenberg and Tanner Thomas. They're accused of planning to recruit an army of homeless people from Washington, who they would then turn into a mercenary army to storm Gonave Island off Haiti. This is an island that you can only get to by boat. Its population 100,000 or so, but rife with famine and poverty. And their plan was that they would sail there on a sailboat, that they would take over with their army of homeless people. They would murder all the men on the island. I'm assuming that's about 50,000 men. And then they would turn all the women and children into their sex slaves. They planned to buy a sailboat and guns and recruit these homeless people. Thomas had enlisted in the US Air Force to brush up on his military tactics. Weisenberg had allegedly traveled to Thailand to learn how to sail, but found that the course was a bit too expensive. I mean, that's the problem with invasion plans. There's always a course that's too expensive. Both have denied the charges so far, but they haven't formally yet pleaded not guilty, although it's thought that that is coming. It sounds extraordinary. And yes, these could just be two nutty fantasists. They could also be two very dark, evil men.
But if you want to pitch up on an island, you need to bring an army with you, because those 50,000 men may just say no. There's always that point. What have they thought about that? Sure. All right. Canada's grim grizzly bear attack. We don't have grizzlies here, but they can be problematic in Canada.
Oh, boy. Yeah, absolutely. Although I think, generally speaking, it's a bit like shark attacks off South Africa or Australia. They're far fewer than the rest of the world thinks. So there are far fewer grizzly bear attacks, but they have increased. It is thought that there's a ban on trophy hunting. Now, trophy hunting is extremely contentious around the world, but because of that ban, they think there are more interactions now with grizzlies, up from 300 or 500 a year to 1,000. And here we have an incident where a female grizzly bear with her two cubs, it's not thought if the cubs took part in the attack, but the mama bear went for a group of 20 as a school trip. They had stopped for lunch, and suddenly mama bear appears out of the woods and attacks the 20, badly injuring 11. They needed treatment, and 3 children and an adult are in hospital, and this is now a few days on. 2 of them are in a critical condition, 2 in a serious condition, and they haven't found Mama Grizzly Bear. They've been looking, obviously, for, I think it's 4 days now. And so the thought is, where has she gone? And she's extremely dangerous, and there's that thing that she's taken on human beings and kind of won. But there was a stage at which three of the teachers, one was spraying it with bear spray. She said it had no effect. Another was hitting it with a crutch because it happened to be on a crutch. And another, can you imagine this? A teacher leapt on the back of the grizzly and started kicking and punching. Oh my word, hand to hand with a grizzly bear. For those of us who remember the Leonardo DiCaprio film, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, I think I'll give that a miss. I don't think at all. Somebody else, I think a lot of people will give a miss, is the world's worst would-be husband. What is wrong with this guy?
I can't think there'll be an orderly queue for this bloke, but Sir Benjamin Slade, aged 79, an aristocrat, a descendant of King Charles II, and I'm sure King Charles III would have nothing to do with him. But anyway, so Benjamin Slade, 79 years of age, he wants as he puts it, a wife who can help him breed a couple of heirs. I mean, immediately he's put that sentence in his ad would put you off. But he also doesn't want anyone who's too old because they have to be able to breed. So he's talking 59 tops. I'm not sure his maths and his biology are quite up to it at that stage. He doesn't want any drug users, alcoholics, Scorpios, Guardian readers, in other words, liberals and socialists. He doesn't want anyone from a country beginning with I who have green in their flag.
Wow.
And I was thinking, what was India, Ireland? Anyway, he doesn't want people who, he says Canadians, Americans, Germans, and North Europeans are fine. I'm afraid he doesn't mention South Africans, but he says he doesn't want to marry an Eskimo. Okay. He says he also wants to make sure that they can ballroom dance, play bridge and backgammon, do crosswords, have a driving license, a shooting license, and preferably a helicopter license, and be able to look after his two castles. Do you know, he had me until the two castles. Otherwise, I thought, well, what a generous, kind. He's the guy who gives British eccentric a bad name.
Oh, gosh. I think apart from Angelina Jolie and Tomb Raider, I can't think of anybody else who's going to be suitable for him. Wow, Adam. Lovely. Adam, thank you. That's Adam Gilchrist in the wild world. Never mind, that's Adam.
EWN Business.
All right, from Adam to finance. African Bank reporting balanced results, Mateo, but after tax profits dropped by close to 50%.
Yeah, African Bank has reported fair results for the year ending in September. The bank says its diversification strategy continued to solidify the business into a full-service financial institution. The bank's Accelerate 25 strategy has broadened its offering across personal and business and commercial banking, shifting from a one-trick pony of just being a lender in 2021 to a diversified player serving 6.3 million customers. This is quite good for them because 5 years ago, African Bank only had 1.2 million customers. Net income from operations before impairments edged up 7.6 billion rand. This is up from 7.5 billion in 2025, while total income before expenses also rose 5% to 5.2 billion rand. But after-tax profits were lower at 247 million rand from 517 million last year, down 47%. Credit impairments also fell 6% to 2.4 billion. Very, very good for a company like African Bank. We do know their history in terms of reckless lending, but they're now a fully fledged bank that has insurance and all sorts of offerings, including credit cards, which they made money from in this reporting period.
Good for them. Really good for them. Then Naspers, their subsidiary Prosus, reporting a profit, but they did sell that stake in Tencent.
Yeah, look, these guys can't stop shooting the lights out. Naspers subsidiary Prosus reporting a profit after selling its stake in Tencent Holdings and that good business from e-commerce. Prosus says it's seen earnings before interest and taxes hit $250 million or 4.3 billion rand over the 6 months to end September. The Euronext listed company says the rise in earnings is boosted by higher revenue from its e-commerce business and the sale of some of its stake in China's Tencent Holdings. That got them around $3.3 billion. That's good lolly, man. Naspers e-commerce portfolio is now worth around 800 billion rand.
With a ba for billion.
Bah. all the way.
How's the rah for rand?
The rand is at 17 rand 29 against the US dollar, 19 rand 91 cents against the euro, and 22 rand 62 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,149 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,557 an ounce. Brent crude at $63.08 a barrel, and that's for those diesel and petrol prices. That's your morning business. Stephen Groot is covering business later this afternoon.
Thanks, Mateo. Just gone 8:31. Sifiso Zulu, what is leading your news bulletin at this hour?
Thanks, Ray. Good morning. Well, the performance of the South African judiciary will come into focus today with the release of the annual judiciary reports. Chief Justice Mandisa Maya will release the data on the performance of South Africa's courts for the last 2 financial years. Khomozo Modise reports.
The annual judicial report is a tool through which the judiciary accounts to South Africans for the performance of its judicial functions. In her report, Chief Justice Mandisa Maya will paint a picture of how the courts fared in serving the people and where the failures and challenges may have been recorded. Maya will also give an address on the state of the judiciary and strides towards its complete independence. South Africa's shortage of judges is also likely to be a theme explored by Maya in her reports, with details expected on how it affects the administration of justice. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News.
The trial of Durban gun dealer Anderson Parayachi resumes in the Western Cape High Court today. Parayachi is standing trial for allegedly selling high-caliber rifles and firearms to gang members in Cape Town between 2018 and 2019. He was arrested by the Hawks in 2021 and his trial began in November last year. Parayachi faces a total of 66 charges under the Prevention of Organised Crimes and the Fire Control Act. Camray Clark reports.
Firearms registered to Parayachi's gun dealership in Durban were allegedly implicated in murders committed by the notorious Terrible Justice gang. The state argues that the firearms are linked to 8 premeditated murders and claims that Parayachi pocketed 700,000 rand from the sale. It also added that the accused should have foreseen the likelihood of the firearms being used in criminal activity, yet proceeded to supply the gang with the firearms. Parayachi has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Camray Clark, Eyewitness News.
And Venezuela has rejected the U.S. terrorist designation of an alleged drug cartel on its territory as a ridiculous lie aimed at paving the way for an illegitimate military intervention. A major U.S. military buildup near Venezuela has led to speculation that President Donald Trump is planning to try to topple Venezuela's social leader, Nicolas Maduro. Washington accuses the socialist Maduro of heading an alleged Venezuelan drug cartel, which the U.S. designated a foreign terrorist organization yesterday. Venezuela's foreign ministry has rejected what it calls the new and ridiculous lie from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, which it says aims to justify an illegitimate and illegal intervention against Venezuela. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 14 degrees, peaking at highs between 20 and 21.
And in the traffic, we've got a major accident scene in Rand Park Ridge on the N1 North. It happened near Beyers Naudé Drive. It's causing delays coming out of 14th Avenue. Please be on the lookout there. About a 15-minute hold up. If you can try to avoid the scene, you can still use alternative routes like 14th Avenue, especially if you're heading towards areas like Krista as well as Rand Park Ridge.
The top story this hour, the performance of the South African judiciary will come into sharp focus today with the release of the annual judiciary reports.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Corporate Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporate Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring Total Energies. Their Corporate Affairs and CSI Manager Talita Sashane will be in conversation with Bongani Bingwa or myself. Join us every Wednesday as we highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporate Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative for 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and make a difference together.
Finance and Economic Development MEC Lebogang Maile will present Gauteng's 2025 medium-term budget policy statement to the legislature on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025 at 10 a.m. MEC Maile will use the mini-budget to outline the province's economic priorities, fiscal direction, and plans to drive inclusive growth and sustainable development over the medium term. Join the conversation about public finances on Facebook and X using hashtag GautengMTBPS2025. This message is brought to you by the Gauteng Provincial Government.
Get online exclusive Black Friday deals for 3 days only at Pick n Pay ASAP and Mr. D. Get 200-gram Nescafe Gold instant coffee or 230-gram refill for only 140 Rand each. And 600-gram Parmalat cheese for only 84 Rand 99. Shop like a champion. Save like a champion. Only on Pick n Pay ASAP and Mr. D. Valid 24 to 26 November while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Ray and the 702 family. How I met my husband, I was on holiday with my best friend. We went to Abu Dhabi first, and then we went to Thailand. So on our way to Thailand, I met my husband at the airport. And yeah, we sort of hit it off. It's my favorite story to tell. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hi, Ray and Tim. So I met my current partner in high school. We were doing grade 10 and then we started dating. We dated for 6 years or so. And then when I was doing third year of varsity, both of us, we broke up because we were in a long distance relationship. And then we were dating other people, got married, had kids. One kid each side, and then we divorced both of us this year, and then we got back together.
Good morning, Ray. So how I met my partner, it was through a friend at a wedding, and yeah, for me it wasn't love at first sight. No, that's not how we met.
Ray, this thing of asking people who's their types, especially married people or people who are in committed relationships. One day, we were chilling and me and my friends were talking about our types, but our partners were on the other side, but for some weird reason they were listening in on our conversations. And one day, just after I mentioned my type, a few months later, then we were walking, I think it was in Blade River towards the boat, and here comes this lady approaching us, and my girlfriend said, "Here's your type." Yeah, you must be excited to look at her. She's your type. Yo, I was shocked.
You see, that's the thing. Everybody's got a type, and I don't know. It's difficult, and I'm just going to leave it there and not dig holes for anybody in the studio at the moment, because we're all married here. But you still have your type, you still have your preferences. But perhaps sometimes you meet somebody and you think to yourself, I didn't know that she's cute, or he's cute, or
like you take time to see that, or to see their
eyes.
physical attraction and what have you. Yeah, it happens.
Here we go. Cindy's got a type, but we're not going to ask her. Look, it's time for sport.
EWN Sport.
And how the Proteas doing?
They're doing great. Live Test cricket day for the second test. The Proteas added 112 runs so far to their overnight score, but they've lost 3 wickets. Currently 138 for 3, a lead of 426 over India. In the middle is Stubbs on 28 and Dazorzi on 38. They lost in order: Rickleton for 35, Markram for 29, Bavuma for 3. Manchester United lost 1-0 to a 10-man Everton. Dewsbury Hall with a phenomenal first half goal. Everton were reduced to 10 in the opening 15 minutes when Idrissa Gana Gueye was sent off for slapping his teammate Michael Keane. Everton boss David Moyes.
When I saw it, I didn't think there was anything in it. I was a bit annoyed that they were challenging each other, but I was quite pleased they were fighting each other, because it showed me that they cared, and it showed me that there's a bit of that, and that's what's in Everton. We're trying to demand higher standards from everybody. So I can't quite work it out if it was Keno's bad ball or if it was Ghana's bad ball to Keno, whatever they were annoyed with each other with. But if we hadn't got that fight and that resilience like what they showed, we'd have never get through the rest of the game.
So hold on, they slapped each other?
No, so I think they were, because the defenders, they're having like a little, you should have, and then one pushed the other, then the other one slapped each other, slapped him on the face.
Okay.
And then the goalkeeper Pickford had to run over, separate them.
Nice,
and then he got sent off. The manager's saying it's great because it means they're passionate and they care, is what he tells the media. I'm sure in the change room, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, both of you grow up and get on with the game. Something like that.
Also your teammates, so it's not good. No. Anyway, in the Betway Premiership tonight, Orlando Pirates are hosting Chippa United. That's at Orlando Stadium at 7:30. UEFA Champions League continues tonight. The early kick-off: Ajax against Benfica. Later, Juventus at Bodo Glimt. Newcastle takes on Marseille. City are hosting Leverkusen. Dortmund against Villarreal. And Barcelona travel to battle Chelsea. A lot of the hype around the 18-year-olds in the sides: Chelsea's Estevao and Barca's Yamal. Blues defender Cucurella compared them.
Very special players. They have a lot of talent. They always want to the ball. They always try to do the one-by-ones. And then I think maybe the only difference, or at the moment the difference, is he's playing in Europe for maybe 2-3 seasons ago, and Estevao is arriving this season, but he's doing really well. I think if he continuing in this way and this level and improving in all the aspects, he can arrive to Lamin's level.
Springboks clash with Wales this week. It falls outside the international window. Both teams will be testing the depth of the squad, missing between them 25 experienced players. Scrum coach Don Heyman admits they don't know how Wales will line up.
So yeah, we're actually unsure about them yet. All that we know about ourselves is that yes, we're missing a couple of players. But I mean, it's another opportunity for some of the new guys, and it's not new guys. It's guys that had the opportunity last weekend and the previous one basically against Italy, which I'm not suggesting the team will look like that, but yeah.
Kickoff on Saturday is 5:10. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
17 minutes to 9 o'clock. I'm all the roads. We've had accidents this morning. We've had congestion. What's the latest?
Well, Ray, we do have that accident reported in Rand Park Ridge along the N1 North. It's right near Beyazodia Drive. Delay is coming out of 14th Avenue. You can still use 14th Avenue if you're heading towards areas like Northcliffe as well as Cresta. While traveling on the Mike 1 North, queuing traffic between Boysons and the Crown turn off. This is due to peak time delays there. However, heading towards the Joburg CBD via the M2, we've got a major accident scene reported right near Silver Street. Delays coming out of Cleveland Road, and there's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks taking place along this route. If you're heading towards the city of Tshwane, please be on the lookout for roadworks that are taking place on the R21 North. Delays from the R25 and Olifantsfontein Road, and then that accident we spoke about earlier in Centurion is still there right near John Forster Drive on the N1 North. Delays from the Brakfontein interchange. More updates coming up at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Now, this is a real Black Friday deal. Get a car insurance quote from OUTsurance today, and if they can't beat what you're paying, ask them for 500 Rand in cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. You could get monthly premium savings or at least 500 Rand in cash. You got nothing to lose. SMS out now to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bets brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, Call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bets supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Do you suffer from heartburn and hyperacidity? To relieve heartburn for the whole day and night with one tablet, a potent once-a-day treatment which was previously prescription only is now available over the counter. Ask your pharmacist for an over-the-counter, long-lasting heartburn treatment. Brought to you by Sandoz.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Morning, Ryan 702. About GBV, I don't think it will change anytime soon based on the approach of government. Government is looking at it from one side, which I fully agree it's wrong. They're looking from the side of men being perpetrators of this crime, but then they don't look at the other side, which is the women's side. I live in the north of Pretoria, Hammanskraal. 95% of rape cases, they are false rape cases where women want to extort money from men, or another part, abusive women, because of they know that government is always on their side.
Yeah, I think you've got to be very careful, very, very, very careful in that. Look at the circumstance and look at what's going behind. Because you're right, there are those on both sides who play the situation. And in a situation like that, that's criminal behavior. And I think that has to be awareness towards that. But there is a general picture of GBV. It's been declared a national crisis in our country. So where does that go? Do they go with government and another 16 days activation, or does it go with you and I and maybe questioning our own behavior?
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
I see him everywhere. I saw him last at the G20. The hardest working man in broadcasting has got to be Clement Manyatela. How you doing, Clem?
How you doing, Razor? Are you good?
Good. What you got?
Good. So coming up on the show this morning, we're going to start with the 702 open line. We're going to try and understand what's happening in the MK party with these men that they've sent to Russia, some of whom are now in Ukraine fighting, on the front lines. So that's a conversation we're going to have. I also am trying to find out what's happening in the Democratic Alliance between Dion George and John Steenhuisen.
Why don't you just get both of them on and they can slug it out and there you go.
I wish I could. Helen Ziller can't also do that. In fact, she's launched an investigation to try and figure out what's going on. So that's what we're going to look at as well. Because it's a tit for tat. I mean, it's getting exhausting. These are old men. They need to be able to resolve their issues. What saddens me, Ray, is, and it happens a lot also in politics, when people are fighting each other, they end up using sexual violence as a weapon. Because now John Steenhuisen talks about a dossier of sorts.
I know.
That includes sexual allegations. Okay, but where has it always been? Did
that's
it wait
exactly
for you to fight with this person for you to know the sexual allegations? It's just ridiculous. And it's not just with John. It happens even in Parliament, where when you want to destroy someone's reputation, it's now like, let's use sexual violence as a weapon.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous, and it's a mockery on people who actually do experience the scourge of gender-based violence.
Quite right.
So we're going to talk about it on the open line. And then 10 o'clock, we have a conversation with the Mineral Council's South Africa CEO, Mzila Mtenjani, about the environment that needs to be created to move the mining industry forward. So we'll talk about also what the G20 summit declared in as far as African critical minerals are concerned. At 11 o'clock, we do our World of Work feature. Today, we're discussing how to deal with boredom in your career. And then we wrap up the show at 11:30 on our health and wellness feature, discussing how to use antidepressants optimally.
Sure, you got a full house today, a full house on the Clement Manyatela Show between 9 and 12. I never miss it.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 Rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Don't miss out on playing Powerball and Powerball Plus for 57 million Rand in total. Estimated jackpots, that's this Tuesday. That's right, play Powerball for an estimated 51 million Rand and then Powerball Plus for an estimated 6 million Rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za. The mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial star 120 star 7529 hash for USSD. Panda Busha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Oh, the tunes are coming out this morning, and the reason is this morning we're celebrating a powerful moment in South Africa's cultural heartbeat, the return of Billy Unama. Billy, take a bow. Take a bow. Your Maya Boya E-Africa concert. Billy, good to have you here. It really is fantastic to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. You know, it's great to be in the studio in the morning. Ray and the team, thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you. It's back for its fourth edition.
Yes.
This Reconciliation Month, and it's carrying a message we all need right now, the rebirth of Ubuntu. Now, I'm not going to get into it. You're going to get into it. You have a 20-piece orchestra.
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
You've also got a stunning lineup. I was reading the names. Tell us more.
Yes. Of course, this concert, it is My Way Africa, the rebirth of Ubuntu. And I always want to make a disclaimer that it is an independent artistic platform, that it is not affiliated with any political party with a similar name.
Okay.
Our
Sure.
first, installment of this concert, it was in 2023 in September. So we tailor-make this concert based on the historic month. So when we did it first time, it was during Heritage Month. And then last year it was May, Africa Month. And then this year it was in June, Youth Month. So now this time we're going to Pretoria for our fourth edition at the State Theatre to honor, Reconciliation Month and also to celebrate cultural diversity.
I think it's great, Ubuntu, the spirit of Ubuntu. Now,
Yes.
take us through that lineup, because I'm not stealing your thunder.
Yeah, well, I mean, for us to express and to echo that message and to amplify that message, we need the voices that people whom they love. And I have host Nix Mabuse. We always honor the legends, in our lineup. Previously, we had Mawatela Queens, Soul Brothers, and so forth.
Sure, yeah.
And we have Simpiwe Dana, who's going to be doing a tribute to Miriam Makeba. And then we have, Malay is going to do a tribute to Swangile Kumalo and Gloria Bosman. So we have each and every artist, they have their role to play. They are playing their part. And by doing this, we are calling the society to also play their part, because we can't live in a society that it is in a situation whereby it doesn't affect them. If it doesn't affect them, it means nothing.
Sure.
This concert, it kind of echoes the social ills. For the reason today there's a GBV on the highest level, it is because we lost who we are. We lost morality. So now the rebirth of Ubuntu is trying to revive that morality in humans.
But you see, Billy, I like that, because the lineup of people honoring Gloria Bosman, these are the sounds of South Africa. It shows who we are. And I asked on the show this morning, how do we stop GBV? But it can be through the music we listen to, the shows we see.
Yes, I mean, like in 1960s, after Sharpeville massacre, political parties, they were banned, and also in Nkosi Sikelel' Africa, it was banned.
Yes.
So now in 1976, when the young people, they were marching and they sang Nkosi Sikelel' Africa, then the police, they opened the fire. So now through a song, I believe that we can unite and also, honor those who came before us. But now, you see, the issues like GBV, for example, it doesn't start now. You know what I'm saying? It just someone is an argument in a debate that when was it intensified for it to become to where we are right now?
Sure.
It is because Miriam Makeba, for example, Miriam Makeba, she was married to a policeman, and that policeman, he used to come back super drunk, and then he will abuse her all the time. So we have like Ezekiel Dlamini. Do you know King Kong the musical?
Yeah.
Ezekiel Dlamini, he was a heavyweight boxer who killed his wife. And you see, all these problems, all these social problems, they've been there. And through this concert, we're going to tell the story.
Lovely.
So now to tell the story, we're going to have to reflect back who we are. And the tickets are at Web Tickets.
I love it. Now, 3rd of December.
Yes.
3rd of December.
No.
6th of December.
6th December,
I
State
have to
Theatre.
chat to someone about that. 6th of December, State Theatre. Okay.
Yeah.
This is number 4.
Number 4.
Where's number 5?
Next year, May.
Where?
At the Joburg Theatre.
I had to get the information out of you.
Yes.
You said you were going city to city.
Yeah, well, not city to city per se, but yes, we wish to do city to city so that we can, amplify and celebrate and honor those who came before us. And people, they can get the tickets at Web Tickets. They have a Black Friday special. It ends this Friday.
Lovely. On Black Friday. It's as simple as that. Billy, just one more question before you go.
Yeah.
One more. You also, your Grammy Award-winning producer, Joe Arthur. You've been working with Joe. Tell us a little bit about that.
He's coming to be our conductor. Actually, today is the first day of the rehearsal. Joe Arthur, he's at the rehearsal right now. We're starting because we're going to take, the audience through 100 years, So from the composers of the, Nkosi Sikelel' Africa until the music of today. So it's a long show. It is a 4-hour storytelling. So we encourage people to not miss that as we honor Reconciliation Month and cultural diversity.
Simple as that. It's called the Mayiboye E-Africa Concert. Billy Monama, thank you so much for coming in. Black Friday special, you said on those tickets.
Yebo.
We'll be there. Looking forward. And that wraps up our time together. Some very important discussions this morning, talking about how to stop GBV. Give it some thought. Have some quiet time with yourself. Perhaps you got the answer and bring that to us. I'll be back with you again bright and early tomorrow morning in for Bongs. It's just gone 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Today is D-Day for former Road Accident Fund Chief Executive Officer Collins Letsoalo to appear before Parliament's inquiry into financial irregularities. Last month, it issued a summons for his appearance after Letsoalo to the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, questioning its mandate and the need for his appearance. The committee is entering its 8th week of testimony as it probes contracts, appointments and accounting standards at the agency under Letsoalo's watch, which ended in August. Lindsay Dentlinga reports.
Following weeks of testimony from former and current employees about the running of the agency by Collins Letsoalo, it's now his turn to respond. Witnesses have testified how he populated his office with a hand-picked parallel structure, including finance, investment and security portfolios, that staff have been on suspension since 2021, and that the agency, funded by the fuel levy, paid millions for his personal security. Scopa chairperson Zongezo Zibi says attempts to serve him with a summons have come to naught.
They've attempted to locate Mr. Letsoalo at various addresses. They have not been able to find him. The one address which he had given to us was not inhabited.
On Friday, Parliament sent the summons to Letsoalo's phone messaging services and posted a redacted version on its digital platforms. Failure to comply with the parliamentary summons could result in criminal prosecution. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Members of Parliament's ad hoc committee looking into police corruption are still undecided on which additional witnesses to add to the list. The committee met last night to discuss its witness list and plans to add 7 more people, including forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan last week came under fire for allegedly sending a threatening message to witness Cedric Nkabinde, who implicated him in police interference. Committee chairperson Soviet Likhanyane.